you go to number 2, please?
That's another great question.
From the Gettysburg Museum of History Studios, high atop Baltimore Street, in a maximum security facility complete with central air, it's AG Today.
Hi, this is Matthew Leach. I played First Sergeant Talbot in Band of Brothers.
Hi, this is licensed battlefield guide Paul Bailey.
Hi, I'm Dale Fetzer.
Hi, I'm John Rothman.
Hi, this is Bo Brinkman.
Hi, this is Anthony Bordner. I'm a huge fan of Gettysburg. It is the greatest and most quality podcast ever. And you're listening to it right now. God, you're so lucky.
Don't ever go on America Got Talent. You won't make it.
Did you say
Never fight uphill, me boys. Never fight uphill.
Don't give them fuel.
Battalion, 3rd Marine Infantry Regiment.
I could house that load. I usually take smaller bites.
Gettysburg Today.
Where does this idea come from?
All of you love me. Oh my God! I'm from Clarion.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this exciting installment of Addressing Gettysburg. Today, it is also known as Addressing Gettysburg Now, but that's only in Central American countries where they call it that. You didn't know that, did you? We have an international audience.
No.
And you didn't know that.
I didn't.
I'm sorry. Sorry to hear that.
You don't tell me all the ins and outs. I just find things out accidentally.
Well, you never ask. I'd be happy to tell you.
Matt, I would like to know all the ins and outs.
No, you don't. It's too much.
This is what happens.
Too much.
I try, and I try.
I have to laugh. I have to laugh because we're sitting here getting ready to start the show, and Colby can't make it today. So 6 questions is on the cameras, and I gave him like a little crash course and everything, right? And so we're waiting to start the show, and I said to Mike, like when you go live, let me know. But usually, Mikey, grab the mic from there, Mike, and the headphones so you can join the combo. Usually, we coordinate, right? We say, okay, ready to go live? Okay, we're gonna go live. Okay, go ahead. And then Colby's like, all right, dude, we're going live, and then I mute the microphones.
Oh, wow, that was good.
We sit there.
Well, I was trying a different style, a little improvisational, put you on your toes.
Yeah.
Immediately, boom.
Immediately.
We're going live.
So I go, Mike, you ready to go live? And he's like, oh, the promo's already rolling. I'm like, what? Okay, well, thanks. So I just had to laugh because there's, and then I said, when you're ready to cue me, use the intercom, and he's just pointing through the window like this. I don't know. I don't know hand signals. I mean, I don't know what it is. I just have to laugh that. I don't know. It's just funny because we are none of us, including myself, can communicate anything.
Well, Matt, you're getting what you pay for.
It's exactly right.
When you've got a bunch of volunteers.
Yeah, I kind of wish I was paying and everybody still behaved this way, and so that I could yell at them, because that would be fun. Because it's like, well, I'm paying you.
I'll be perfectly honest.
Yes.
If you ever yell at me, I will cry.
Oh.
Just saying.
Well, that's all right. I'll never pay you, so don't worry about it.
I mean, even if you're not paying me.
Yeah.
Just yelling in general. I don't do well.
Oh, I couldn't yell at you. Do people yell at you?
Yeah.
People have yelled at you.
Yeah.
Like strangers. Okay, we're
Strange,
not
well-
actually live.
What?
We're not live.
Yes, we are.
We were.
We are?
Yeah, I'm watching it.
We've got 41 viewers.
You're on the wrong one. That's the Jason Martz one.
Oh.
You're supposed to pick the drop down. I quit. I hate it. I'm done. This wig is done. It wasn't my real hair again, ladies and gentlemen.
People are commenting.
I know. I see it. I'm looking at it now. All right, hold on. You know what? All right, whatever. Oh, well, let's talk about this then while we're doing this. I did a video where I talked to the, I call it the State of the Show show, all right? I do a State of the Show every month.
Yeah.
Or every quarter, excuse me. And I let everybody know where we are, what has happened, and where we plan on going, right?
Yeah.
And, this is the first time I did a State of the Show where I didn't start off with the State of the Show is good. I didn't say it was bad, but it was very clear that I am beleaguered, right? To say the least. And so I said, okay, and here's why. Okay, first of all, 3 people die in my life in a 4-month period, okay?
Yes.
Never really have the time to fully grasp it and grieve, because then it's on to the next one and on to the next one, right? So there's that. And then the house thing. I'm falling behind on work because of the house thing, the stress of it. I can't focus. It's just all these, right? And it sounds like wah, 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 right? I understand. And then now we've started this documentary that we're working on, which the patrons know what it is now, but we're not putting out the word yet publicly what it is, because we're not ready to.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So that is a lot of work.
Yeah.
And
I would think so.
Right. And then the winter lectures are coming up, and that is a lot of work. So I'm like, okay, I can feel that I'm 3 minutes away from a nervous breakdown at any moment, right?
Mm-hmm.
And when I try to do all of the things I'm doing now and then add the lectures and add the documentary, it's going to happen if it doesn't happen before then, right? So I said, I've been thinking, I'm like, okay, something's got to give. And you evaluate things. You look and you say, well, okay, this is still going well. This is still going well. This is not. And now when YouTube did their little trickery with the algorithm and everybody lost all the monthly views they get and all that stuff, basically the history shows are still kind of holding.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But AG Today was doing good. Like, we were building viewers, and by the end of a 7-day period, by the time we're doing the next show, the previous show had somewhere between 1,000 and 1,500 views.
Okay.
Which is good, because they used to get like 300 in a week.
Okay.
So it was a good improvement. And then June comes and YouTube pulled its shit. And then now it's like we're working our way back up to 500 in a week.
Oh, no.
Yeah. So we lose basically 1,000. Now, also, I wanted this to be seen as a service to the town or to the businesses in the town.
Mm-hmm.
And while some, seem that they, I appreciate it or whatever, it's really cool what you do, it never goes beyond them saying that to me.
Mm-hmm.
It never, it's not like, hey, you should all check this out or whatever. So I was like, okay, the one thing that I actually enjoy but I put a lot of work in each week because it has a lot of moving parts. It's the only live show that we do that has any production value, and it's very shabby at best, but that's also the charm of it. It's gonna kill me. So I said to the patrons, I was like, what do you all think? Like, should we stop doing it?
Mm-hmm.
Should we do it once a month? Should we do it twice a month?
Mm-hmm.
And this is only for January and February, by the way.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, because I love to do this, and I want to do it, but I also, I can't do everything anymore. So here's what some of the people have said, and we'll tell me if you agree here. Okay, Phil Salwasser, I think is how you say his name. He says, "Hey Matt, thanks for the State of the Show. I figured a ton goes into building a business as you have, and you can probably only articulate a very small portion of it. I can, because really what you want to do is just go. You want to make some kind of ungodly noise and hope that within there are all the words that are needed to make other people understand. I have a ton of admiration for what you're doing, and if there's ever an opportunity to pitch in from a volunteer perspective, I'd love to help out. I have no experience in multimedia production." No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding, Phil. It was a joke. No experience in multimedia production, but I work in IT and competent in various forms of tech. Worst case, I'm good at being a strong back and a weak mind. That, my friend, is actually very valuable. Keep me in mind for anything I can contribute. Josh McDowell says, "Hey, Matt, first of all, I'm sorry about your losses. Your podcast was a huge help for me when my mom died, so just felt like I want to say something. I went months with doing the same thing. When you sit and can't focus or get something done, it's grief, it's anxiety. So take the time for yourself when you can. However, you can. You are your greatest asset. Tell Bethany I said that. I've started to feel like my old self recently after my mom passing in 2023. I still have bad days and moments. I will always be a supporter because I truly say this show helped me not go into a really dark place. So as down as you get and as dark as it gets at times, know you're bringing good to the world. It doesn't help. The documentary sounds awesome. Can't wait. AG Today, I always liked, but I always thought it should be a monthly show. He always thought it should be monthly. I think it's built for that kind of schedule. Hang in there, and I'm excited for whatever comes down the line." Dustin Wise says, blah, 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 documentary. "I would really like to see AG Today, so once a month seems like a noble concept to keep it around. Please let me know down gently when you have to say no to meeting up." Okay, yeah, I got that. Grant, some sucker named Grant says, "What you had to say made sense and was logical for once. It's not an easy business that you're in. Documentary sounds good and your camera work is exceptional from what you've done. The hardest part to hear was the change to AG Today. It's your show and you do what you have to do, but could you possibly split the difference and make it a fortnightly show?
Aww.
I really love being a part of this enterprise in a way from afar. And it's been fun to get to know all the people in town in the history field. AG Today is my favorite part of what you do. I'm always here for the regular shows on AG as they're great, but AG Today gives me an opportunity to be a part of a community that I just can't get here." See, all the people in Australia reject him. Isn't that sad?
They don't reject him.
Poor Grant.
We love Grant.
I said to Grant, I would love to, Grant, but I first have to look up what fortnightly means. What a dork. Kevin Randolph.
I think they think that about us for not knowing what fortnightly means.
Kevin Randolph says, "Life's been weird last year, so I got out of the AG Today habit. Shame on me. I'll tune in Thursday." Shame on you, indeed. And Mike C. says, "Fellow Gemini here, owner of all the self-criticizing inner monologues and imposter syndrome that comes with it. Just want to let you know how much I appreciate AG and what a huge part of my daily weekly routine and well-being it's become. My wife was diagnosed with late-stage, likely terminal cancer several years ago, and being in Gettysburg is really my place of solace and mental healing. Moving there has also become my retirement plan in the event my wife is no longer with me when my young kids go off to college. When I'm not in Gettysburg, I'm often wishing I was there, and addressing Gettysburg really connects me with that place. The community also makes me feel like, it makes me feel like, there's where the rest of my fellow nerds are. So keep up the great work, and know that at least for me, listening is a very bright spot in my week and helps center me and de-stress from the often hectic weeks of working a corporate job, shuttling kids to practice and caregiving. God bless, and best wishes for the coming year. P.S. Trying to get up there in the spring. Beer's on me." Damn right they're on you. Thank you, sir. No, I'm just teasing. They're not damn right on you. I'm quitting beer. I'm going to vodka. So there's a lot of these that say very similar things here, and I don't want to bore the audience that's reading now. But here, this one I like. Naptown Jim said, "My wife and I really enjoy AG Today. She is not a history nerd like me, but does look forward to it every week. We would really be sorry to see it go away. Going to once a month will make it more difficult to remember when it is on, and we will miss it."
Well, Grant did say that doesn't sound like me at all. You made that up.
BS. Greg says, "Would hate to see AG Today go away. It is one of the highlights of the week for me. Gets me away from everyday news, which is something I need. That being said, I've been in a similar situation of needing to step away from something in business to save my sanity. So I get it. In the end, you have to do what you feel is right and blah, blah, blah." All right. So the reason I read those to you is because I want to give you, an idea of what the audience thinks, right? And I'm curious to know what you think. What do you think? And don't say you do what you have to do. Ultimately, do what's good for you. Don't say that. I know that, and I will. But I'm curious, like your thoughts on the idea, because I know you love doing this, and we love.
I do. I don't know the right answer, Matt. Because here's the thing. I agree with you that you, Matt, need an outlet.
Yes.
That's one of the things that I worry about if we were to go away, like, and stop being here every week. I know how much you need, like, the humor and the outlet and the getting out of the house and being around adults.
Right.
So I would worry more about you.
Well, I mean, if we did it once a month, right?
Yeah.
That would give me something to look forward to.
Yeah.
And then, now, if we did do it once a month, here's what I would propose, though. That we would try to do it like a real morning or afternoon drive radio show and do it for 4 hours. And here's the deal. Here's the deal.
Oh, my God.
And this goes to you guys in the back, Mike. And,
Are we going to play music?
And Debbie. No. I will buy dinner every show, and we're not going out to dinner. We're going to have it here, but I'll order it in. It'll be on the show. The show will pay for it, because I know the patrons are really going to, not patrons, but the people who view for free are really going to appreciate that we're going to at least continue to do it once a month, and they're going to send us like $100 super likes and everything. And but that would be the deal. Would you do a 4-hour-ish show, 3.5, 4 hours, so 5:30 to 9, maybe 9:30, and then we go? Because we all usually end up leaving and going home by 10 o'clock-ish anyway, right? So what do you think of that in the back there? Debbie?
I would do that if that's what you chose to do.
That is a good soldier. How about you, Mike?
6 questions.
Sure. I've done the radio thing before.
You get it.
Yeah.
You get it, buddy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm up for...
Cindy, you have no choice. No. What is your thought on that? The time?
Oh, it's already...
Yeah, we're already
What's
doing
the
that.
difference?
Yeah.
Yeah,
We
we're
get home
already
at
doing
10
it.
o'clock.
No. But now this is actually... But no.
No,
we're
I get that,
yeah.
but it's 2.5 hours now. We don't get home until
10, 11. Yeah.
10:30 anyway, so...
We would need something... Okay. I need food.
Yeah, we're going to have
I may
food.
need chocolate in order to keep my
Okay.
energy
Whatever
up.
you need.
Because I am in need of, keeping my energy up.
I will have a barrel of chocolate under your seat.
A barrel?
A whole barrel.
Well, I mean, if you're going to get me a barrel of
Do you like
chocolate, I guess I'll do whatever
Gertrude
you want me
Hawk
to do.
or
No, I'm strictly
Alex
a
and
Hershey's
Ani or one of
girl.
those chocolate flavors?
Strictly a Hershey's
You are
girl.
insane.
I don't like any of the other fancy chocolates.
Well,
It's too much sugar. It's not good. I don't like it.
Too much sugar
each his
compared
own.
to Hershey's?
I don't like... I actually...
Pretty sure a chocolate bar is all sugar.
Wait,
regardless.
I'm
yeah.
pretty sure I actually... See, here's the thing.
Okay.
When
but
I say chocolate,
You say
not-
potato.
I'm not...
Chocolate, potato.
I guess
chocolate.
I'm not actually asking for chocolate.
What
No,
are you
you're
asking
not.
for?
I'm more like something chocolate covered.
Like like chocolate covered pretzels.
Yeah.
Ants.
Because I don't like... If we went somewhere and you were like, let's get chocolate cake with chocolate icing, that's too much chocolate.
Yeah,
I don't like
that's
that.
that's the chocolate hell for what I agree.
So, yeah.
All All right,
I
so
guess I don't really actually like chocolate.
I mean, like, look, what
Coming to a realization. I'm coming to a realization that I don't really like chocolate.
how do you go from give me chocolate to I don't like chocolate?
Because usually what ends up happening at home is that, you know, we have dinner and then I go, I want chocolate. And then Mark brings me like a bite-sized Snickers bar.
Right.
So I guess I'm not really asking for chocolate. I'm asking for all the stuff that's in the Snickers bar.
Okay. Yeah. The chewy nougat, the caramel, the peanuts.
I'm having a revelation. I'm having a revelation.
I know.
On air.
At
Live.
CWI, I brought you a Dove bar. Did you enjoy that?
I did enjoy that.
Dove bars are nice.
Do you know what else I really love? My favorite thing of all time.
If
Mostest
you say
favorite?
Reese's peanut butter cups.
No. My favorite dessert of all time is strawberry shortcake.
Strawberry
I
shortcake.
can eat the revelation shit out of it.
That's good stuff.
I don't know if I've ever really had strawberry shortcake.
What?
What?
My sister used to play with strawberry shortcake.
No, not that. That's the doll. But there's a
He's
dessert.
being a jerk.
No,
There's a dessert.
I
you
really
must have had the dessert.
I couldn't I don't know. I don't
Well, I mean,
I
we're
don't
gonna
know.
do so. I'm gonna make Matt do a cereal taste test.
Oh.
Because this commercial came on for honeycomb, and he said, "Have you ever had that?"
Ugh.
Well, have you had it?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I
It's
said,
disgusting.
"Don't do that because we're gonna do a taste test." But I said yes.
It's disgusting.
And I know. And I said, "You haven't?" He said, "No, I've never tried it." I'm like, how have you never tried honeycomb? There's many cereals that he hasn't tried, and so I'm very sorry, Mama Calorie.
Yeah.
But I'm going to force your son to try all the sugary cereals that are not
Yeah,
good
I
for
mean,
you.
so it was Lucky Charms because we're Irish. It was
Well, naturally.
Corn Pops because I'm corny. Frosted Flakes. I mean, it's not that we didn't have sugary cereals. It's just that it's like she didn't. I don't think my parents liked us having them, so they didn't like go crazy by whatever sugary. It would be like we'd run out of cereal.
It's expensive
and then,
too. Cereal's
it
very
is, and
expensive.
you know, at least as an adult, when I would get cereal, I'd go through it in like 2 minutes.
Yeah.
I did a whole
Well,
box in
the boxes
one
are
sitting.
also a lot smaller than they were when we were young. But
I'm on a Honey Bunches of Oats kick.
that's a good one.
Mm-hmm.
What are you laughing at?
Cereal talk.
What's your favorite cereal, Mike?
Well, you know, Honey Nut Cheerios.
Yeah, that's a good one. Honey Nut Cheerios.
When I was pregnant, the only thing I could eat and not get sick was peanut butter Captain Crunch.
Oh, that's gross.
Mm-hmm.
You know, though, the multi-grain Cheerios are better.
See, I remember Captain Crunch. I feel like
Tears your mouth
tears the
apart.
roof of your
It
mouth.
does
Yeah.
tear the roof of your mouth.
I didn't
But it
like
was
that.
the only thing I could eat and not
Yeah.
immediately get sick.
Yeah.
And Mark would buy like 4 boxes. My husband is the cutest, best human on the face of the
Why
planet.
is that?
He would go, every time he'd go and think about it, he'd go buy like 4 boxes at a time of Captain Crunch for me because he was like, I think he didn't want to see me without it.
Estella said I look like Cam with the wig on.
Oh, no.
Sorry, go ahead.
So, yeah, he just was so good about it. And, you know, he really does take care of me.
Yeah.
Let's go on a Mark tirade. Mark is
Well, wait,
started
answer
a
the
new
question
work.
first. What
Okay.
do we do?
I do think based off of what you went through last year and seeing you go through it, that once a month would probably be better for your psyche. But at the same time, you're going to have to come up with a way to have an outlet once a week. Like maybe we still get together like for dinner so that
that'd be fun.
You can still laugh and goof around and be adorable.
You know, I'm really not that terrible. Like he does
It
laugh
has
with
nothing
me.
to do with you.
we do joke around. A
We
bit,
do.
And
I know you
we
do.
have some
Yeah.
fun, and we go out. Yeah.
Yeah, and
we go out.
It doesn't even.
No, we
have
do.
to-
We go out with Jen and Mike
Yeah,
on
it doesn't have
Sundays.
to
We
be
go.
with me. I'm just saying.
No,
like,
but I like what you're saying there because, and I'll tell you why. Because I think you're right. Look, you do a show like this, you have to socialize outside of the show because you have to create experiences that you can then, talk about. It's not hard. You got to eat dinner, right? Anytime.
True. Like right now,
every day you got to eat dinner. Yeah, me too, right? So every day you got to eat dinner. So we have dinner on Thursday when we do the show. So we have dinner on Thursday when we don't do the show.
Oh, and we can go to places that are open.
We can go to places that are open. We can go earlier. We could be home at a reasonable time. I think what everybody can look at it as is a little bit of a break for everybody. Mm-hmm. And the only reason I'm doing it is because I have those two other things that are a lot of work and a lot of well, not so much for the lectures, but for the documentary. It's a lot of thinking and arranging and organizing and all that. And I have to get a lot of stuff done on paper in the wintertime so that we know what to shoot when the leaves turn green again in the springtime, because we lost our shooting time outdoors because the leaves turned pretty early this year. So the story that we're telling takes place in the summer. So it's got to be green, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, it's going to look stupid talking about the sweltering heat in July when you got a snow-covered ground and trees with no leaves.
However hilarious. You could do a comedy.
Well, we're not doing it's not a comedic story. It's a terrible story. It's a sad. No, we're
so hungry.
We are playing up the horror of it. Is there any? You want a piece of smoked salmon?
Oh my God, no.
Salmon jerky?
No.
How about
not
chicken?
Even a
Stupid.
little bit.
What? Okay.
No, not even a little bit.
All right. So you say yes, you would do that once a month. I propose that we do it on the third Thursday of each month, and the reason being that we can recap the previous 4 weeks, but preview what's coming up the following month. So in other words, January, we do the 3rd January, we preview what's coming up in February. Also, because we're not doing weekly shows, we can have more than one guest if we have a 4-hour show. It's not all on us. We can have 2 guests maybe. And then we only have to do that twice, maybe 3 times, maybe March. The lectures are done in March, so I think we could go back to a weekly schedule in March. But yeah, I think I like your idea of still getting dinner because that keeps the camaraderie going and growing. And that way it won't be like forgetting how to talk to each other. And then when we do the show, that'll just keep us, sharpened enough. And then we can come back in March, and that's leading into tourist season anyway. And we'll. So that's what I think we should do.
I'm fine with that. And Cindy, I know that you're very funny because you make me laugh all the time.
I didn't say I was funny. I was just saying, we do have fun.
You
makes me laugh.
You are funny. You've got a dry sense of humor.
Yeah,
I like it.
I agree with Cliff McCurley. Golden Grams is completely legit.
No, I disagree.
What?
They get so soggy and
they
gross
do.
very
Yeah.
quickly.
You have to have a small amount of in the bowl.
This much. That's
And then you get all that sugary goodness in the milk
after
afterwards.
You eat the slimy Golden Grams.
No, you eat them quick.
Golden Grams.
Yeah, Golden Grams.
Yeah. No. Mm-mm.
Yeah. Fruity Pebbles. Fruit Loops was the better one. Fruit Loops was good.
Apple Jacks.
Oh, Apple Jacks were the best. You like those too, Mike?
Yeah, let's go.
Yeah.
Apple Jacks.
Too bad there's not a cereal restaurant here that you can go get cereal. They had one
It's called your house. You do that at home, sweetheart.
There was one in Philadelphia, and it was really cool. Grant says Cindy is funnier than Matt, but he spelled "than" wrong. What an idiot.
Looking at the comments, hi, Katie.
Marie says, I don't know if I have time for a 4-hour show. You don't have to sit in all 4 hours. The audience comes and goes throughout.
Yeah.
It's
like you're listening to the radio.
Yeah, but the thing is, you're not going to get it the rest of the month. So you could take all month long to listen to all
Sugar
4 hours.
snacks.
Nah, I never got into those.
No.
Yeah.
You never did? Jeremy Sears, I agree. Those are very good.
Is that the one with the frog?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
How about the Kicks?
Ooh, Kicks.
Oh.
That's
All
Been
like
tested, mother
classic.
approved.
Solid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Solid.
Silly Rabbit, Kicks are for
That was
Tricks.
I don't like
No, I'm not
Tricks.
thinking of Kicks.
Tricks.
Thinking of Tricks.
No.
Tricks tasted like sugar in your mouth. Like you just took a spoonful of sugar and put it in your mouth, but it was colorful.
Yeah. Grape Nuts? That was a little too grown up for us, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I liked grape nuts.
How about Nut and Honey? Remember Nut and Honey? Yes. Yeah, I remember the commercials were like, what are you Yeah, Ralph. Not in honey. Remember?
You know what's
She's
really
like,
good?
She knows
is,
he's eating something.
Hang on.
I did a
figure
whole
it out.
presentation about how Kellogg's cereal came to be. It's quite
O's.
fascinating.
They're O's. O-H apostrophe S.
Oh, yeah, I remember O's.
They still sell them.
Do
But
they?
Yeah.
How about alphabets?
No, don't like them.
Alphabets?
Bits. Alphabets. They were all
alphabets?
letters of the alphabet,
letters.
and they had a really nice little frosting on them.
No.
I like
I didn't
them.
like it. They essentially tasted like the Lucky Charms cereal without the marshmallows.
Without the marshmallows.
Mhm.
Yeah. I used to just pull the marshmallows out of my Lucky Charms and then eat those. And my mother would be like, stop eating just the marshmallows.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I love
just
how you make
post
Mama
honey
Calorie
O's.
sound like that. Poor Mama Calorie.
Marie says grape nuts warmed up with sugar on them is good.
Yes.
So that's the
Ooh,
other thing is
cream of
like,
wheat.
how did you adulterate your
with maple syrup.
Oh
in
my
it.
God, yes.
So good.
how did you adulterate your cereal? Like we used to
Never.
get Rice Krispies and put pancake syrup on it.
Oh my God.
Oh, it was so good.
I like just plain Rice Krispies.
I
That
did too.
made me want to puke.
Really?
Like instantly.
Why? That's so good. You could put maple
milk?
syrup on it. You
In
could put
milk?
You put milk in your pancake batter, and then you have pancake syrup on your pancake. What's the difference? What are you talking about? You don't like that?
That's a
Is it,
texture
like-
thing that I can't even comprehend.
How?
Really? Oh, Bethany.
Cracklin' Oat Bran.
Cracklin' Oat Bran was another one.
That was my mom's favorite, so we always had it in the house.
Oh, yeah. My mom would get Cheerios or
don't?
Honey Nut Cheerios. I'd never liked Cheerios. They had a weird taste to me.
Oh, I like Cheerios.
No, I still don't. I don't know what it is that tastes so weird about Cheerios.
Even like puffed rice, which I guess wouldn't be a surprise because I like rice cakes. So
Right. Yeah.
puffed rice was
You like cardboard.
fair.
Speaking of puffed rice, I mean, we could talk about this during the news, but are you following this Puff Daddy story?
P. Diddy.
No.
P. Diddy?
Oh, it is.
He got in trouble. I
scandal.
knew that.
He got arrested. Trouble. Oh, trouble is not the word.
I mean, he makes, if these stories are true, right? Because
Yeah.
it's all alleged.
Allegedly.
But he makes the Marquis de Sade, Harvey Weinstein, and
I'm so
Hugh
proud
Hefner.
that you know the Marquis de Sade.
Of course I do. And the Marquis de Masochist. He makes them all look like nuns.
Yeah.
Like, it's amazing.
Oh, it's bad.
It's like vile. I mean, real evil stuff.
I'm going to have to look it up.
Yeah, you're going to have to
Yeah.
look it up.
And it just
How
keeps
could you not have-
unraveling. I don't know how you haven't come across
Let me ask you this, Beth.
stuff.
Since you haven't seen any of
Yeah.
it, let me just ask you this, and then we're going to go for a break. In your mind, what is the most legitimate reason for having 1,000 bottles of baby oil in your house?
Hoarding during the pandemic.
Oh, see, his
Nobody mentioned
his lawyer
that.
should have said that.
Oh,
His
you
lawyer
would've
was
made
like, "Oh,
great
there's a
defense
Costco down the
attorney."
street." All right, hoarding during the pandemic.
There you go.
Listen, I can't argue with that one.
Yeah.
I still have toilet paper from the pandemic.
I've got Kleenex coming out the you know what.
The box.
Yeah, the box.
Yeah.
But, you know, Mark with his ineffective nose blowing situation.
I have a feeling that we're never going to get to this unless we do it now. And I know I said we'll just go for a break, but Debbie.
Yes.
You got into a little accident last week.
Yeah, that's like 2 weeks ago now. But
2 weeks ago. Debbie, 2 weeks ago, you got into an accident, and we tried to talk about it on the show, but you ran away.
I didn't run away.
The emotional...
Rang. I was retrieving a guest.
Oh, that's right. And what were the circumstances of the accident? Is your car totaled?
No, my car is actually relatively okay. The other guy's car is totaled.
You did damage.
Mm-hmm.
Good for you. But he rear-ended you.
He did, yes. So I was on the road outside Mike's apartment building in the morning, ready to pick him up for work. And I had my left turn signal on, waiting for traffic to clear so I could turn into the parking lot. And out of nowhere, this car slammed into the back of mine. It was a little Toyota Camry compared to my Chevy Equinox.
So you're on Route 30?
Yeah.
and like turning in,
Yep.
and he just hit you.
Apparently.
Didn't you get into an accident like 2 years ago?
A year ago.
wasn't even
that
a
was
year
totally
ago.
my own fault, and it was only me.
But that was
when
you
she was on the
hydroplaned.
turnpike.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was when she hydroplaned. Okay, yeah,
Yes.
that's
so
right.
Kind of the moral of the story here is Debbie should not drive in the rain in September.
I think. Well, I maybe the more. Oh, was it September last time?
Yep.
I think the moral of the story is that Debbie needs to go down to the Amish buggy dealer and get herself a horse and buggy, because at least that has those warning triangles and flashing lights, and you get to take care of a horse. You know?
I mean, I'm not opposed to the idea.
Yeah. So your car, did it have any damage or?
It's damaged, but it's drivable.
Okay.
Very drivable. There's a back panel that's kind of got pushed out, so it's not fully connected to the car anymore. But otherwise, it's okay.
Okay.
I can still open the trunk and all of that. So.
Well, good.
The other guy, the entire front of his car was smashed in. It was leaking fluids as he turned in behind me, so
Yeah.
his car was toast.
The Equinox took a Japanese missile to the rear and took like a champ.
To the rear.
Okay. Too bad they didn't have one of those at Pearl Harbor. Oh, too soon. Too soon, guys.
Definitely.
Wow.
I'm reading this
Mm,
P. Diddy stuff
yeah.
right now.
Oh, you shouldn't read it now. You go home and do it while
gonna
you're
go
sitting
down. A
down.
rabbit hole.
Yeah.
It's, yeah.
It's
Well, I just wanted to know what the I wanted to know why he said he had all the baby oil, but I didn't.
See, but that's how sweet you are. You don't even, your mind can't even think of why you would need 1,000 bottles of baby oil. That's what's nice about you. You're like, I don't know. That sounds weird. Why would I need that?
You know, here, sir, you dropped your money. You know, like that.
Listen,
Dope. Oh, look at that. You just dropped is this $1,000 yours, sir? Oh, well, yes, it is. Thank you. It wasn't his.
I seriously saw green and I thought it was money. That's all I'm going to say. I didn't realize it was.
We're
pot.
talking about.
Oh, about the. I forgot about
the grocery
that.
store. Yeah.
All right,
I don't
good.
think about things the same way you do, Matt.
No, that's true. You don't. All right, so what we're going to do is. What? Oh, I hit the wrong thing. Sorry.
Very weird.
What the hell's happening? We're going to take a break. And a lot of you have been noticing that during our wonderful live reads, I've been talking about the Battle of Gettysburg in depth with Garry Adelman, our good friend from the Garfield. Well, he's not from the Garfield Farm Museum, but it's the Garfield Farm Museum out in Campton Hills, Illinois, that's going to do it. One of our patrons and a great supporter of this show is affiliated with the museum, and she's the one who asked if we could promote it. And, of course, we're going to do that. But she's here, and she's here to talk about it, because if you are in the area, you really should get out to it. It's going to be an exciting day of Civil War adventures with our buddy Garry Adelman. So, we'll be right back after these words, and we will talk to Sharon Polifrone. She is our guest today, and I think you're going to enjoy Sharon. So stick around. We'll be right back.
The Gettysburg Museum of History, located right here in the center of Gettysburg, PA. Owner and curator Eric Dorr grew up here and has spent his life collecting and preserving history through artifacts ranging from the Civil War, the Battle of Gettysburg, World War II, presidential items, pop culture, and more. His museum is free and open to visitors Wednesday through Sunday, 11 to 5 p.m., where you can stop by and immerse yourself in some of the most amazing artifacts that you would never believe exist in the middle of Gettysburg. If you're a fan of Band of Brothers and Everything Easy Company, you'll love his exhibit featuring the Dick Winters collection and artifacts from D-Day. You can even own your own piece of history by buying one of the many relics they have for sale in the museum and on the website GettysburgMuseumofHistory.com. The Gettysburg Museum of History is a non-profit 501c3 organization with a foundation that allows all purchases and donations to keep the museum operating and open free of charge. They have been featured on the History Channel, the Travel Channel, the Smithsonian Channel, and the Science Channel. Now you can check them out on American Artifact, the series on the YouTube channel, The History. The Gettysburg Museum.
Gettysburg's first and premier podcast about living in and visiting Gettysburg has returned from that long commercial break. Thanks for sticking around. Here's Matt.
Did you say it's loud? How about that? Is that better? Okay, good. Well, you have good hearing. That's down really low. I wish mine's up really high because I'm deaf. Welcome to the show, ladies and gentlemen. Back to the show, I should say. Like I told you, the Battle of Gettysburg in depth is October 20th, 2024 at the Garfield Farm Museum in Campton Hills, Illinois. It's an all-dayer. It's 8 to 6 p.m. So clear your schedule. The schedule is on the back of this, and let me just give you a couple things here. Like, for example, for July 1st, you got to talk about the battle beginning, obviously, right? But also, to the fishhook. How do they get into the fishhook? So that's what we'll do there. Lunch, there's going to be a band and reenactors. And then July 2nd, you get into the heaviest combat, part 1 and 2. Part 1 and part 2, okay? You're going to ask Garry questions, and then you're going to climax on July 3rd. So we're going to talk to our guests, introduce our guest right now. Sharon, welcome.
Thanks. Good to be here, Matt.
Good to have you. Just go right up to that. Pull that right up to you. Don't be shy. Give it a little kiss and move on your way and talk about everything you need to talk about there. Okay, so Sharon, tell us, first of all, where'd you get the idea to do this? Because Garry, you don't know Garry, right?
Well, only from YouTube.
Right.
Yeah. Well, it's Garfield Farm Museum's a historic living 1840s museum. And it's actually the only surviving historically intact Teamsters inn and farm in Illinois, and the largest. Anyway, we have a wonderful facility there. It's a barn built in 1906, and actually it was moved. It's amazing. They've got this huge barn, and they moved it. But anyway, and it's used to be a dairy barn. It's a great facility for we have weddings there, hired out for weddings and that kind of stuff, all sorts of functions. But we have never done anything like this where we have, a big lecture series sort of thing in it. And I don't know if this will catch on, not necessarily an all-day thing like this is, but if this idea will catch on to have the public come and have guest speakers. But this is a great idea, and since we have a sponsor for this event, all of the proceeds go to benefit Garfield Farm Museum.
Oh, good. So you
which
actually
is a
get to keep...
not-for-profit organization. So that's a great idea. So and it introduces people to the farm, and it there's just a lot of Gettys nerds out there.
There are.
We're everywhere.
They're everywhere. They're even in Illinois.
Yeah, of course.
Well,
Illinois, of course, everybody that knows about Gettysburg knows the first shot was fired by an Illinoisan.
Yes.
What are you called? Illinoisans?
Illinois, yeah.
Illinoisan, okay.
Yeah, Marcellus Jones is buried in Wheaton, Illinois. It's about 30 minutes drive from the farm. And actually, his monument here next to the Whistler's house, isn't it?
Yep.
Correct me if I get names wrong.
Sure.
Next to the Whistler's, it's the limestone for that actually is from Naperville, Illinois, that they built that with. And Naperville, Illinois was the home of Levi Schaefer.
Oh, the sergeant?
Levi Schaefer was the sergeant that he borrowed the carbine from to fire the first shot. So his monument here is,
I did not know that.
From Naperville, Illinois.
Did you know that, Mike?
It'll be on the guide test.
No, I did not, but good information.
So if you come to this, lecture, you're going to find out all sorts of things you didn't know.
Yeah, that's great.
So obviously we're going to have the 8th Illinois Cavalry reenactors there. We're going to reenact the first shot. And
that's fun.
Yeah, it'll be fun. I mean, it's a short reenactment, but it'll be kind of fun. Everybody's outside.
Just one shot.
No, but I think there's more to it.
We're going to do that big.
Oh, okay. So you're going to have more than one guy there, is what you're saying.
Yeah, they'll ride up on their horse and jump off. And no, I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah.
There's people doing stuff.
And
so getting Garry, though, was that your initial, get that you wanted? Or was it we got to do an event. What should we do? Did you have other ideas? Or was it just let's go?
The first idea of this, now call me crazy. My idea.
Don't tempt me.
Well, my idea was to have, because I've always thought that the first day has gotten short shrift.
Yeah, a lot of people do.
I think it's come more into vogue lately. Do you feel that? Or
I think
around
people
Gettysburg?
are starting to kind of appreciate it more. Yeah.
Ever since, I mean, I love the Ken Burns, Civil War documentary. Who didn't? But he spent 5 minutes on it or something like that, and he called it a skirmish. Well, if that's a skirmish, I don't want to be anywhere near a skirmish.
I think, to be fair, though, I think he said compared to what was to follow, the first day was a skirmish. I think he was being dramatic, but yeah. It's still what was it? What is it, Mike? Like the 17th or 19th most
the
casualties?
number of dead, yes.
Yeah. In the war.
Yeah. So anyway, my idea was to
Sorry,
have a whole day
Go ahead.
a whole day seminar just on the first day.
Right.
And I think you could do that.
Oh, 100 people do it all the time. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a good thing to do.
A whole day, nothing but the first day.
Yeah.
Well, I got talked out of it, and probably glad I did.
By who? Who didn't want to do that?
Well, I actually talked to Tim Smith about it
Really?
because he's a first day guy, and also my other interest was having people know about the experiences of the people who lived in Gettysburg at the time. And he's very
local crap,
yes,
as they call it. Yes.
and he's very knowledgeable about that and speaks eloquently and knows everything there is to know about the the experiences of the local people. So that was my original idea.
Okay.
Well, he couldn't do it with his schedule. So, he actually said, what about doing all 3 days? And I think I passed the idea on to you. Ran it by you, and you agreed. At any rate, when I talked to you about it, so the whole thing changed. Okay, so it's not the townspeople, it's not just the first day, and okay, so what do we do? So that's when you and I met, and at the Adams County Historical Society, a wonderful organization that everybody should support, by the way. And
interesting.
Yeah, and you came up with the idea of Garry Adelman.
Mm-hmm. I did.
And you actually put me in touch with him.
I did that too.
So of course I knew him. Well, I knew him from American Battle from YouTube.
Sure.
But I didn't know him personally, and he didn't know me from Adam. So,
right.
But he was really great about it, and I cannot believe we actually found a date. I think it's October 20th is the only date he had.
Yeah, I was going to say he's very busy.
Yes.
You got to get him months in advance.
It was October 20th or nothing.
He's a celebrity.
So you contacted him that was last year.
Yeah, and he said
it's almost a year out.
No, I think it was around Christmas was when.
Yeah,
that was when.
Right.
We.
But
met,
I mean, it's almost a year from when you initially initiated contact about this whole thing that it's booked. So in other words, that's how busy he is what I'm saying.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we were incredibly lucky, and really one of the reasons, if not the reason he's doing, is because he's from Illinois.
Yes.
So another native son.
You didn't know
of
Garry is
yeah.
from Illinois?
I just assumed he was, from this region.
Yeah. So he can, visit his family. He can,
It's an excuse
Does he
to
really
go home.
want to do that?
Why not?
So
it's really great, and I think the whole idea sort of gelled, and then then the idea of the 8th Illinois Cavalry. We have a band that's going to play Civil War era music.
Mm-hmm.
There's lots of other stuff going on. Too much stuff going on that I mentioned. But I wanted to mention that the schedule that you referred to was Garry's idea, and that's sort of the schedule of the battle. As you see, it's sort of chronologically what happens in the battle. But that's not the only thing that's going to be discussed. Now, of course, it says Battle of Gettysburg in depth.
Right.
So, of course, he's going to go in depth on battle formations, troop movements, all of that. But he's also going to do, for instance, myths. Gettysburg myths.
Okay.
So, Matt, what's your favorite Gettysburg myth?
Well, my favorite one
Or should I say least favorite?
Right. Which one annoys me the most? That would be that it started over shoes.
Yeah. That's a big one.
Yeah.
So I'm sure he's going to cover that one and many others. So he's going to do that. And then, there's just, even with a whole day, there's just not enough time to cover everything, So, I got interested in and I think my story is typical of some people, maybe a lot of people, got interested in, well, I was always interested in history, but specifically the Civil War by actually the biographies. So I read Grant, of course I read his autobiography, then biographies of Grant, biographies of Lincoln, biographies of Lee, just the people. The people sort of drew me in. Not the battle itself,
Right.
but the people.
Sure.
And that sort of drew me in. And I was also, and still am, very interested in the political machinations.
Sure, yeah.
From 1820 to 1861. That all of that stuff.
Yeah.
The compromises that fell apart, and then another compromise, and then the actors in the. I mean, it's just fascinating to me. Yeah. I was also fascinated in the post-Civil War era Reconstruction, and still am. So actually, the Civil War itself and the Battle of Gettysburg, as far as the military, I'm just now reading Coddington. I'm so far behind on the actual military.
You're not behind. You're doing it at your pace.
Yeah. So, but all of these other things are very interesting. So, for instance, I mean, just a couple of things. I think the participants will be, if we can't discuss them in depth, they should be made aware of them. For instance, Garry Adelman knows a lot.
Right.
It's unfortunate, yes.
He just knows. He just knows a lot. There's a lot stuffed in that brain. I mean, and he can access it at will.
Very quickly.
Yeah.
Which is, amazing.
Yeah.
It's very intimidating, too.
Yeah.
I have gone to different things with him, and I mean, he wouldn't know me from Adam, honestly. But and you try to say something, try to look impressive, and then it lasts 2 seconds.
Right.
It's like, okay.
Then he goes like 30 levels below what you just said, and you're like, oh.
It's like, never mind.
Forget it.
Oh, but he's not like that when he lectures. I mean, like his YouTube, stuff that he puts out, he's so engaging.
Yeah, he's not doing it to be malicious.
No.
Just like
he's just a font of information, and he's so engaging. We were talking before that he can talk to, professional historians, people who know, troop movements down to the nth degree, and he can also talk to people, total amateur enthusiasts who, there was a Battle of Gettysburg, and I heard the Union won.
Yeah,
tell me more.
Right. So, where were the Germans?
Yeah,
right. But my interest is, I like to bring up to the participants. He knows a lot. How does he know? How does he know it?
He was born with that knowledge. I always understood it.
Yeah.
How does he know it?
But that's a question. That's an interesting question.
Yes.
We don't have time now to explore it, and we won't even have time in the seminar. But it should be brought to people's attention. So quickly, my own experience. Okay, so he's obviously read a lot of books. I mean, I assume he's read a huge number of books. Okay, so you read a book. I've read books.
Yeah.
On by noted historians who know what they're writing about. Okay, so you read it, but how do they know? How do they know? So some of the books, if you're lucky enough, they come with footnotes.
Yeah.
And I love footnotes. I mean, Coddington's footnotes are just great.
Oh, yeah. It's most of the book.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It takes me like 3 hours to read one page because I'm going back to the footnotes, which are more interesting than
which is right, exactly.
So if you're lucky, you get a book with footnotes. So you go back to the footnotes, and the footnotes sometimes refer to another book.
Yeah.
Okay, but if you're lucky, they refer to an original source.
Right.
Okay. All right, so you get back to the OR, you get back to letters, memoirs, newspaper clippings. So we're from the horse's mouth, aren't we? And we know that everything you read in a memoir or a letter or a newspaper or even an OR is the God's honest truth.
Gospel
right?
truth, yes.
And that's exactly what happened.
Right.
I bring up 2 quick examples that we won't go into, but I just throw that out.
Okay.
Chamberlain.
Yeah.
His original OR report from Little Brown Top was lost. 20 years later, he wrote another one.
Right.
And also,
if only we could all do that, right?
Well, the thing is, the other people that could have written were all dead. Mm-hmm. They all died on Little Round Top. So he wrote another one. And so sometimes you have self-aggrandizement, And I'll bring up another person, Longstreet.
Well,
So
wait, but with
Yeah.
Chamberlain though, he was getting in a feud publicly with somebody who did survive,
Yeah.
and
Yeah. What's his name?
Yep.
Oh
Mhm.
God, he's in. Mike, help me out. It just escaped me.
Ellis
Spears. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
Spears.
yeah. They got into it.
Yeah.
Publicly.
Well, and then of course Longstreet's a famous example with the the whole thing about he's been attacked. It's years later. What did he actually say to Lee on the day about being on the defensive? And then he's being attacked. So of course he has to defend himself. And so we read his writings, but what are his newspapers? They of course have no political ulterior motives for what they write.
No, they are the most
Back then,
honest
yeah.
purveyors of what is true.
Right, it's absolutely just like
arbiters
now.
of
Just
all
like-
we should.
Just like
Exactly.
now. And then letters. Okay, you have letters that people wrote. So that they wrote on the day that it happened, or sometimes it's later, but they have a memory.
Right.
So they wrote it.
Fresh in the memory.
Yeah. Well, how about Sally Longstreet? She wrote years later that in the 1900s, she wrote that Longstreet was the best man at Grant's wedding. And that's the source that we have. She's totally unreliable source. If you read everything that she's written, it's like half of it's just made up.
Right.
Just out of whole cloth.
Yeah.
And yet everybody says, "Oh yes, Longstreet," because then we have the source.
It's in a book.
So I bring that up because it's fascinating to me, not because we can't. It sounds like we can't ever know anything, because if you can't trust the people that were there and lived through it, who can you trust? But to me, it's just fascinating that history is messy.
Oh.
I think I told you once that somebody decades ago said to me, I don't know who it was right now, talking about the Battle of Gettysburg. And they said, oh, yes, the Battle of Gettysburg. The North won and the South lost due to superior numbers and interior lines. Period. That's the Battle of Gettysburg. We don't have to get into it anymore. We don't have to delve any deeper. Superior numbers, interior lines, period. Goodbye. Next subject.
Right.
Well, but
Forget about management of those superior numbers.
History is so much messy,
Of course.
It's just, and that's what's so fascinating.
And didn't get there, wake up and stretch on 11 o'clock in the morning on July 2nd and go, you know what, guys? We've got superior numbers and interior lines. We're going to kick ass today. He had no idea.
Why does he sound like he's from a California Valley Girl?
Because everybody
situation?
is
I mean,
nowadays.
God.
Guys, that's how our modern generals talk.
Ew, David.
Right.
So
they're all Alexis.
Yeah, they're all Alexis.
Yeah.
But and also, there's these important questions of history that you delve into. By the way, I was talking about this man who said to me about the Battle of Gettysburg. That's it. In one sentence, there's 60,000 books written on and counting on the Civil War. Of those, 35,000 and counting are about the Battle of Gettysburg.
I'm telling you,
it's never going to
super popular.
Never going to be the end of it, and that's
No.
what's so fascinating is that you can keep going back and back and back, and of course, attitudes change over time. And this is another interesting subject: how attitudes, of course, specifically to Longstreet and Meade.
Meade's getting a major overhaul,
and even Lee. Even, dare I say, Jackson. Attitudes change over time, and the evolution of that is also very interesting. So
it is, and it's the more I learn, the less I believe anything. Do you get that feeling when you realize because I'll give you an example. We'll go back to the shoes. Okay. Battles fought over shoes. I remember coming here early on. And licensed guides saying that, right? On a bus tour or something. We used to do the double-decker bus tour, and they had an audio. It was an audio tour, and that alluded to it or something. I believe even the electric map, which was in the National Park Visitor Center, said something to that effect.
Well, they still have the controversy over the monuments, and with one hoof the horse is up.
Oh yeah,
that's another myth.
Right, that's another myth.
I'm sure Garry will address that.
Right,
myth.
but my point is that for the longest time, how many generations, how many people died thinking that they knew the story of the Battle of Gettysburg, and now we're like, that's not true. You know, like this whole idea of these poor barefoot Confederates in ragged uniforms, you know, barely with enough strength because they're starving so much, you know, barely with enough strength to march and fight when they're up here and everything. Meanwhile, the opposite is true. They were living high on the hog for 2 weeks up here.
It was the Union Army.
It was the Union who was hungry and without shoes.
When Meade was told and ordered to take command,
yeah,
you know what his first written order was for?
Shoes.
51,000 pairs of shoes.
Yeah, yeah.
Because then that's over half, slightly over half the Union Army
Right.
didn't have shoes.
Right.
And
what did they do after the battle? Some of the men went to Frederick to get shoes. They didn't all go after Lee. I mean, when they were going but they had to stop in Frederick and get shoes. There was supply of shoes.
And
there.
then the very first day also that he assumed command, there was an enormous wagon train of supplies heading towards Frederick, and Stuart captured it, captured all of it. And that was what they needed, and it got captured.
Yeah. I think that was mostly like fodder for the horses, though. But you need that, too, because that's how you move around.
A horse needs, 15 pounds of hay and oats every day, or else and it's not a matter of, them just getting a little bit skinnier over time. No, they founder, and they just drop.
Right.
They can't function.
Yeah, they gotta eat.
They can't function. Speaking of horses, I'm sure again, we'll cover as much as we can on this day. And since the 8th Illinois Cavalry is there with their horses, maybe we'll talk a little bit about the horses and mules. But Garry has given me permission, depending on where he is in his lecture, and that's a big caveat, to not, interrupt if he's on a flow. But if he...
Oh, yeah, don't interrupt flows.
No.
Yeah.
If he's on a flow, no.
Right.
But if there's a convenient breath point and he has finished a thought before he goes on to the next thought, he's given me permission, depending on the situation, and he can always nix it, to raise a finger, and I'm going to have a whole pile of quotes from books that I've read that, for various reasons, just to interject something a little bit different, like one or two sentences, not like maybe 15, no more than 20 seconds, and then I'm out. So I'll just quickly read you one of them. We're talking about horses, and of course, this is, what book this is from, Hardtack and Coffee.
Okay.
Yeah. The horse was good for any kind of service as a beast of burden up to the limits of his endurance. Not so his half-brother, the mule. The latter was more particular as to the kind of service he performed. Like a great many bipeds that entered the army, he preferred to do military duty in the safe rear. As a consequence, if he found himself under fire at the front, he was wont to make a stir in the neighborhood until he got out of such inhospitable surroundings.
Smart.
So I'll just, interject either to lighten the mood or to in the opposite. I asked you about that quote that I can't find. I hate it when I hear something that I want to use and then I forget to write it down, and now I can't ever find it again.
Yeah,
all the time.
Because and I know Garry is not going to do this. He's going to concentrate on, and you have concentrated on the wounds, the battlefield wounds.
Yes.
So I know that's not going to be glossed over, but still, there's a temptation to, the glory of Pickett's charge and the banners and the very real bravery of fighting over a regimental flag. You got 9 guys who died, and they're down, and all of that glory. And I'm not diminishing that and the bravery and the courage. But we get caught up in that, those of us who have never fought in a war.
Yes.
We get caught up in that, and we think, oh, this is great, and you see the paintings of the battlefield flag, all of that.
Yeah, it stirs the emotions.
But there was this one quote, and I hope I can find it, about it's a person who was on the battlefield walking, and he wrote down in his diary that evening what he witnessed, and he was walking by a guy who had his jaw shot off.
Oh, yeah. I think that was E. Porter Alexander. Who does that sound right, Mike?
Well,
yeah.
but
yeah.
it was a specific description that I when I heard it, I think it was on YouTube, and I forgot to write it down. And the guy is holding his jaw down in his hands. His jaw is down in and he's holding it down in his hands like this. His whole jaw is, and he's holding it. And this guy is describing because he's horrified by it. You know? There's nothing he can do for him, but he's, and I don't know if I don't know much about anatomy, but evidently I have it on good authority that our tongues are incredibly long.
Yes.
And if they're loosened from their moorings, they actually hang down halfway down our chest. So his tongue was hanging halfway down. He's holding onto his jaw. I mean, this is horrible stuff. And he tries to say something in this guttural, horrible, gurgling. I mean, the description just had me riveted. I was like grabbing onto the table when I was listening to this.
I don't think that's Alexander's description, is it, Mike?
I thought it was Antietam. Possibly.
That's something else. Yeah, that's not from here.
No.
Does that ring a bell with anybody?
Well, I'm not a big Antietam. I mean, I like Antietam,
I don't
but I'm
know
not
that it was Antietam, but I don't think it was Gettysburg.
So the one from Gettysburg is he's over in the peach orchard, if I recall, and he's setting up the guns, and he glances and he sees a guy leaning against the fence or a fence post, and assumes he's dead because his jaw's ripped away. But then he moves. And then he said that of all the sights that he saw throughout the war, this horrified or haunted him the most. But there's another story with a jaw missing and the person like trying to get the author of the account to kill him, put him out of his misery. Was that Alexander's account?
I don't know that for sure. I know that Tazewell Patton also had his jaw shot away or shot off. And they actually had to take a young lady and put her back to him so that he wouldn't choke on his tongue.
Yes,
And so, there are plenty of stories like that from Gettysburg.
It just brings us back from all the glory to the actual experience of what it was like. And sometimes we need to be jerked. We all need to be jerked back from the...
Well, this super secret documentary that we keep referring to... we're focusing on the horror. We're not going to do the glory. We're doing the horror.
Not diminishing it.
No, because the story doesn't lend to the glory anyway. It's all horror, and so we're not going to shy away from it. Like it'll have to have a warning in the beginning.
Probably,
yeah.
But
not for people like me.
Yeah. There will be bones.
But there's lighter things, too. I mean, for instance, we had talked, I won't go all into it because we don't have time, but we had talked before about, I mean, the Civil War is tailor-made for people who have trouble with names. I mean, you got Law and McLaws. You got 3 Johnstons.
Right.
You know, the 3.
Albert Sidney. Joe, and Captain.
The reconnaissance guy.
Yeah.
And so, so it's not enough to have 2 Johnsons. You could have 3 Johnstons, any number of Smiths.
And then, of course, there's John Sons all over the place, which is more common. But people confuse the John Stuns with John Sons.
It's horrible. Gotta keep everybody straight.
It's like talking about my family.
So, okay. Can I give you a piece of advice as a person who presents? Has a thing. And then, if you're going to do the finger and injecting thing, I would say to him, Gary, because here's the thing. Now, Gary is the consummate professional who's been doing this for 50 years, okay? So maybe it's different for Gary. But I would, if I were in Gary's shoes, I would appreciate if somebody wanted to do that. I would say, okay, here's what I'm going to do. When I am feeling like, I forget where I'm going with this, or I need, something to just catch my breath or whatever.
Or he's going to change subject.
Or I'm about to change subjects, right, whatever. Where I think it's apropos for someone else to jump in, I'm going to say, Sharon, you have anything? So maybe let Gary do that.
Oh, I hope I have something.
Because you got a whole book. I thought you got a whole book of
but I want it to
quotes.
be apropos to what he just said.
Okay.
But you're right. I could certainly do that. Yeah. But I mean, he did say, and I totally agree that if I, say, think it's a stopping point and I go like that and he says no, then fine, and I won't interrupt. Obviously I won't even go like this if he's on a roll. I'm not gonna. But
Which I've never known him to not be on a roll. So.
Yeah, that's the problem. I was sitting here thinking, I don't know when
are
you're
you
ever
going to have
get
that
to
moment?
Interject because he's just so constant.
Yeah.
And I find him, you know, like certain podcasts, like, you know, you can listen to history things and you can think to yourself, I'm going to do like the dishes while I do this. Or I'm going to listen to this while I'm doing something else. Or I'm going to listen to this and fall asleep. You know, like this is a nice thing to fall asleep to. You can't do that, any of those things with Garry, because he is constantly giving you something and you have to pay attention.
Yeah. He knows where he's going when he talks. Like he's not like me. I kind of wing it and I don't have the energy he does. But he knows where he's going, and he goes boom, 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 boom. I mean, you really could squeeze a lot in one day with Garry.
Yeah.
I don't know if anybody else would be able to do the whole Battle of Gettysburg in one day, right? Like he's going to do.
Well, I'll probably get in trouble with Garry for saying this, but I went to a meeting of the, I'm not a member, but I went to a meeting to advertise this, of the Northern Illinois Civil War Roundtable.
Mm-hmm.
He gave the very first lecture when that organization,
That's
and they
kinda
still
sweet.
remember him, of course, because he's memorable.
How
And
do
he
you
was
forget
great.
him?
He was
Right.
great, yeah. And they loved him. And they were all excited that he's coming back to Illinois. You know,
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So,
but anyway, he, I did get a few requests. Could you please ask him to talk slower? It's
Good.
like,
so you have to
well-
get him drunk. That's what you're going to have to do. Drunk Garry. That's the only way he could talk slow, I think, is you get him drunk. And I don't think he drinks.
I don't even know. I think he would probably be talking faster and there might be giggling.
Oh, dear.
But there are opportunities like built into the schedule for questions.
He insisted on that.
Yeah.
Lots of question periods.
Yeah.
Lots of them.
So, this is going to be all right. So
it's really a collaborative kind of thing. And so I want to say before we leave,
if it works,
yeah,
and everybody really likes it, are you going to do it again next year? If you do it again next year,
we don't know. We'll see.
But if you do it again next year, are you going to do it as a multi-day event if you wanted to do Gettysburg?
Oh, well, if we did it, we wouldn't do Gettysburg. If we have another lecture, it wouldn't be Gettysburg. It'd be something else.
Yeah.
Something to do with, it's an 1840s. I mean, the Garfields came out in, I think, 1837 or 1841, something like that. I get the dates confused. By the way, so did Stephen Douglas. Stephen Douglas came out to Illinois from Vermont also. The Garfields came from Vermont. He came out in 1833. They came out in 1837. So anyway, no, it would, I mean, and we haven't really discussed this, at the museum, but it's just an idea rattling around.
Yeah.
That
was this your idea?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But perhaps the barn could be used other than weddings and other kinds of ceremonies for this kind of, this kind of thing.
Does the barn have heat?
No.
Does it get cold there in October?
It could, and we have space heaters.
Oh, okay. All right. Good.
Yeah.
So it's like a...
Bring a sweater.
Well,
or two. It could also be 75 degrees, and you never know in Illinois.
Yeah.
So, all right. So say what you were going to say to wrap up, because we do have to wrap it up.
Yes, to wrap up. So, so Garfield Farm Museum, it's about 40 miles west of Chicago. It's in Campton Hills, Illinois. It's not a big town, so you have probably to look it up.
Oh, that's what I wanted to ask you before. When we had talked about this before, you had named all of the different states that are not like an hour drive or so from.
Oh, we have people from Milwaukee. We have people. Well, Milwaukee is maybe I don't know, an hour, something like that. Maybe a little bit longer. Northern Indiana is close, and actually that part of Michigan that borders Lake Michigan is not too far.
Mm-hmm.
We actually have possibly some people coming from St. Louis, which is 6 hours away.
Okay, all right.
And Springfield, which is I think about 3. But yeah, there's all sorts of states there, and of course, if you come like the day before, you'd have to come the day before because it starts at 8 a.m.
Right.
There's all the look up. There's hotel chains, every hotel chain you can imagine.
So there's still
the general
tickets
area.
available for this.
You have to sign up online, and we have a special offer. If you have to register at garfieldfarm.org. And you go to the page, and there's more information, and then there's a way to register. You register, and then if you do that, and then you show up, you just give your name, because we have, your registration. if you say the words addressing Gettysburg when you check in between 8 and 8:30, that's when the breakfast, this includes breakfast, not lunch, bring your own, but breakfast. If you say addressing Gettysburg, your name will be put in a pile, and if it's a couple, then the two separate names will be put in.
Okay. Two chances to win.
And Garry, in the afternoon break session, after lunch, in the afternoon break session, Gary's going to draw one name from that box.
Nice.
And that person will get their ticket price back in cash that day.
Really?
Yeah.
Amazing. That is one of the benefits of listening to Addressing Gettysburg there.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, so anyway, I just wanted to say, first of all, thank you so much.
My pleasure.
For allowing me to come on and, toot our horn, Garfield Farm Museum.
Sure, of course.
We like spreading the nerdiness.
Yeah.
And I want to say to your loyal listeners that I've been a patron now for a little while.
You have.
And I totally encourage everybody to become a patron. It's totally worth it. It's absolutely worth it.
Why is it worth it?
Well, I'll tell you why it's worth it. I started listening to you before I was a patron.
Right.
I listened for free.
Right. Most people did.
For a while.
Yeah.
And I heard, I heard your
Insanity.
podcast here.
Yeah.
And then you started doing these morning drives. So I'd be walking the dogs. I have 2 German Shepherds. I walk the dogs, and I have my phone in my pocket, and I listen to your, ramblings on your morning drive. But occasionally you would, the thing is, at that point, I had never actually been to Gettysburg. Never been to the battlefield.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I mean, I read about it. I'd seen pictures of it in books.
Yeah.
I'm a history buff.
Yeah.
But I had not visited the site. And so it was kind of nice. And you drive and you say, oh, we're going by such and such. And I whip out the phone and look, oh, that's what it looks like. And of course, it's, much better in person. But it was next best thing.
Yeah.
So anyway, that was it. And there were several things that drew me in. First of all, you have interesting topics on your show, and you cover them in an interesting way, and you have interesting guests.
Yeah.
And that was all meaningful to me.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. The other thing was you personally.
Aww.
And that is, but specifically you personally, what it was that drew it for me. On these morning drives, you would hint. Sometimes you'd come out and say. Other times it was more or less a secret thing, and you'd hint at some sort of, oh well, there's something coming up. I can't tell you about it now, but I'm having a meeting. You remember? I'm having a meeting at the Park Service at the Visitor Center this afternoon, and if it comes through, I'll tell you guys. Mm-hmm. And then you'd say, well, maybe we should do this. And then you'd have like 3 more ideas. And this is before you had breakfast. And then so you'd have like 15 good, interesting ideas before breakfast. Now, there's nothing particularly extraordinary about that. There's a lot of people who have good ideas, 15 good ideas.
Yeah.
The difference is that you would act on like at least 50% of them.
They would try at least, yeah.
Yeah, well, no, you'd hear later that they actually came to fruition.
Yeah.
And we all know people who are smart and with it and interesting people, and they have interesting ideas. I think, I'll do this. And you go, yeah, and nothing ever happens.
Mm-hmm.
With this guy, he has 15 ideas before breakfast, and half of them happen.
That is a very true statement.
So I think that's, that...
He doesn't like hearing about himself.
Well, look, for you loyal
but
listeners...
I need to now, though. This is...
This is the kind of person that's worth supporting. This is the kind of person that's worth supporting.
Oh, thank you.
And by the way, I also want to tout out, obviously, Garfield Farm Museum is worth supporting. And my other favorites are, of course, the American Battlefield Trust, which Garry Adelman's the chief historian. Their podcast, they are wonderful. They're worth supporting. And our favorite Adams County Historical Society.
Right.
They are another museum that's worth supporting. So I sound like, I don't know, an advertisement for all these places. But what brought it home to me, did anybody hear last week, Martin Sheen was at the White House? Did you hear him at the White House?
Yes.
It was a reunion of the West Wing cast.
Yeah.
And also the producer.
Right.
Okay, I don't know if you caught that.
Yep.
And he got up. And when it was his turn to speak, he's so great. He's just so wonderful. And he told a joke, and he started out with a joke, and he said, and I don't know if it was an Irish guy, it doesn't really matter. He said, this guy dies, and he goes to heaven, or he goes up to the gates of heaven. And, he says, well, God's there and everything. And he says, well, can I come in? Am I allowed to come in? And God says, well, where are your scars? And he looks, well, I don't have any scars. And God says, why not? Was there nothing worth fighting for?
Oh.
And to your listeners, I'm going to say that sometimes scars are financial.
Yes, they are.
And there's things worth supporting and worth fighting for. So.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah,
I appreciate
that.
That.
Very sweet.
That's via Martin Sheen.
Yes.
You thank Martin Sheen for that.
Well, good old Martin.
Yeah.
Right.
We're on a first name basis.
Trust him.
There is no time.
There is no time.
There is no time. I have told you there is no time for that. There is no time.
No, but thank you very much. That's very nice of you to say.
So October 20th.
October 20th. Not recommended for children. It's an intense day.
No, this is for anybody, whether you're an amateur enthusiast or you're a professional historian. You're going to get a lot out of this.
Yeah.
And it's just going to be great. Lots of things, discussed, gone over.
It's a long day.
And you're not going to just sit in your chair all day. Gary is adamant. He already
No,
told
jumping
me,
jacks. You'll be doing calisthenics.
He's going to get you up and out and
formation.
Form you in an echelon attack formation.
Yeah,
and okay,
good.
go at it, guys.
Yeah.
I mean,
so you get to fight each other.
Yeah, there you go.
Well, that's beautiful. I love it.
And it's garfieldfarm.org. Yeah.
Like the cats.
And also, what's the phone number is 630-584-8485 if you want to call and get your tickets.
And that's Jerry Johnson, our executive director. He will personally answer the phone and take your order. He's taken many orders over the phone if you don't want to do it online.
Well, listen, Sharon, I hope you get a lot of people that come out to this. Are you close to selling out, or where are you now as far as
the
that
tickets
goes?
are actually they're going. They started out slow because people didn't know about it. It always does, yeah. People didn't know about it, but now I have to say they're heating up, and I would get your ticket order in.
Good. And I've been reading ads for it for the last few weeks, so I'm hoping that some of those people are responding from the ads.
And
we'll continue
a lot of your listeners are in the Gettysburg, Pennsylvania area, but they know people in Indiana, Wisconsin, Illinois, maybe even Western.
That's the thing, is you're close to all those other states, so you don't have to be in Illinois to go to this. You can be anywhere. And
of course, Gary's going to talk extensively about the Illinois, connection with the 8th Illinois Cavalry and the 82nd. Illinois Infantry.
Yeah.
82nd. Okay. And why? Last thing, people say, well, why aren't there more Illinois, units, regiments at Gettysburg? Illinois was fourth in the number, 150 regiments, volunteer. Fourth in the number of regiments per state, and it's nowhere near the fourth largest state.
No,
nowhere near. But fourth.
They just like a good fight.
And 99% of them, except for the 8th Illinois and the 82nd, went to the Western Theater. So, for instance, in Vicksburg, the same week as Gettysburg, 25% of Grant's army outside Vicksburg were from Illinois.
Oh, okay. So
that's where they all were.
That's where they all were.
They were all out there.
But a few of them were here. Firing the first shot at Gettysburg.
Yeah, and they served honorably out here, of course.
But thank you so much, and
thank you.
Really appreciate it.
Thank you for coming out.
I appreciate your continued and awesome support.
And become a Patreon, guys.
Thank you. That's www.patreon.com/addressinggettysburg.
There you go.
What? We'll be right back.
Thank you.
Craving a Hot Pocket or a bag of popcorn? Now's the time to go and get it. We'll be right back.
Want the freshest cup of coffee in Gettysburg? Then visit Bantam Roasters, formerly 82 Cafe at 82 Steinway Avenue. They roast all of their coffee in-house, and they have a full coffee bar to keep you caffeinated during your trip. Visit them at www.raggededgerc.com for their menu and shipping options for all of their freshly roasted coffee. Use promo code Hancock for 10% off your order in the cafe. Enjoy historical stories on the History Fix platform. Explore movies, short films, and documentaries. Addressing Gettysburg podcast fans receive an extra $5 off the first year's annual subscription. Sign up at historyfix.com and use promo code Gettysburg. Every subscription includes a 7-day risk-free trial. Escape into history with History Fix.
This episode of Addressing Gettysburg is brought to you in part by me, audiobook narrator Mike Scott. Narrator of Savis Beattie's Bloody Autumn, the Shenandoah Valley Campaign of 1864, and Unlike Anything That Ever Floated, the Monitor and Virginia and the Battle of Hampton Roads. If you are an author or publisher interested in having your titles produced as audiobooks, or even just in learning more about the process, give me a shout. You can find my contact info on my website, MikeScottVoice.com. That's MikeScottVoice.com.
The 1863 civilians of Gettysburg were reluctant witnesses to the Great Battle. Join Ken Rich, the man in the red shirt, for his historic town walking tours. You could book these tours by emailing ken@gettysburgtownhistory.com. That's ken@gettysburgtownhistory.com. And when you're in town, look for the guy in the red shirt. And Civil War Trails. It's the world's largest open-air museum, and they offer over 1,300 sites across 6 states. Drive the Gettysburg campaign turn by turn, paddle to Frederick Douglass's birthplace, or hike to remote earthworks and artillery positions. Visit civilwartrails.org to request a brochure and explore their interactive map. Follow Civil War Trails and create some history of your own.
You're listening to the Addressing Gettysburg podcast with Matt Callery.
When you're dragging ass out of bed, the hairs must up on your head. You picture the 20th Maine, and you're happy once again. Fight the battle against being slow with
Little ground top row. Whoa, whoa. Skip-a-dooby-dooby-doo-wah. Skiddly-bump-a-dink. A dink-a-law. I'm not very good at scat. I would never be a good jazz musician.
No, but that's okay. You're good at other things.
Well, but scat is what I've always wanted to be able to do.
Okay.
Hey, can I tell you about something that is just out of this world?
What is that,
It's
Matt?
called Little Ground Top.
Wow, tell me more.
Well, Little Ground Top is a delicious blend made by Bantam Roasters for us exclusively. We did taste tests, and people said, I like formula number 2 or blend number 2, and that became Little Ground Top. That's right. Bantam Roasters, by the way, is nestled in the historic town of Gettysburg. It's nestled in there.
It is truly
It's nestled. It's a well-crafted coffee that showcases a beautiful blend of flavors, and I'm not even kidding about it. Let me tell you about some of those flavors. Ready? Cacao, wildflowers, and toasted sugar. And again, if you have a sophisticated palate like mine, you might also detect things like black pepper, dirt. I used to eat dirt as a kid, so I know what it tastes like. I can tell you the difference between potting soil and regular old soil. It is a great choice for those who appreciate a complex profile with a touch of sweetness and floral elegance. Whether you're a seasoned coffee drinker or just looking to elevate your morning routine, this blend is sure to impress. So whether you are near or far, like the person who wrote this here, who is that wrote that? Ryan Dunn. He wrote this. Let Bantam Roasters bring a taste of Gettysburg to you. Somebody just posted something on Instagram, actually, a video of him unboxing his band. He was very excited.
How cute is that?
Unboxed his Bantam Roasters and then did a little video of him preparing the coffee and everything. I said, please send that to me so I could play it on the show.
You got unboxed.
I got unboxed.
How cute is that?
It's adorable. In fact, that's what I said to him. I said, how cute is that you unboxed it? And then I went and I looked at his profile, and he's got all these muscles, and he looks really mean and nasty, and I said he was cute. Anyway, Bantam Roasters can be found in person if you go to 82 Steinwehr Avenue and pick up your own bag of Little Ground Top, or 2, or 3, or 4. Or you can go to addressinggettysburg.com/cafe. That's addressinggettysburg.com/cafe. It helps us all out. Ooh! Oh! So hard to believe that's not real people. You know? The dynamics. Hey, listen, we kind of referred to this before, but did you know that there are almost 300 audio shows and almost 100 video shows on our Patreon page? Did you know that?
That's a lot.
Did you know that several respectable licensed battlefield guides are patrons but have asked to remain anonymous so as not to ruin their reputations?
That's not true.
Okay, the last part is not true, but they are. Several are. You know, Patreon allows us now to offer you a 7-day free trial if you're not sure that you want to join, and it allows you to purchase individual episodes. They're not all, I have to go through and individually make them for sale, so I'm doing a little bit at a time.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, maybe you don't want to be a patron and pay something monthly, but you do want to hear a specific episode. So you just buy the episode.
Yeah.
It's cheaper to be a patron monthly.
Yeah.
I mean, that's, you know, if you're going to go individually, it's going to be a little more expensive, but it's a one-time deal. And then maybe you'll become a patron. But if you do the 7-day free trial, you do it at the second lieutenant level. Second lieutenants get all of the audio shows that we put out. So if you have the time in those 7 days, you can binge just about all 300 of our audio shows. And then you don't have to become a patron, right? You should, though, because otherwise you're just freeloading. And you know what people say about freeloaders. Freeloaders are, it rhymes with freeloaders. What rhymes with loader?
Boater.
Motor. Freeloaders are bad boaters for things to come. They do not bode well. To freeload is to not bode well.
Yeah.
For if we ever meet in person. You become a member. It is cheaper, blah, blah, blah. There's also monthly and annual subscriptions available. You get a discount if you go annually. Okay, a lot of people say, hey, I don't want a monthly thing. Can I just pay you for the whole year? Mm-hmm. Used to be. The answer was no. They didn't have a way to do that.
Oh.
They've had it now for like 2 years or so. Oh. The new thing is that you can buy individual episodes, okay? There's also a store there for digital downloads, so if you want Alderson, Broadison, or other things, you can go in there. It comes free with certain memberships. You can go and purchase them for like $5. Unfortunately, there's a minimum that they make you charge, so, you got to go and do that, but whatever.
So there's audio clips that people can buy?
No. Well, yeah, like, just Cam going, Alderson, Broadison, you could do that.
Ringtones.
Well, that's what you could use it for. You can use it as a ringtone.
Man.
Anyway, but my point about this
I want my voice to be somebody's ringtone.
Yes. Well, exactly. So we could put, and the mayor was there, and we could do all those things. But anyway, did you know that 908 out of 909 college sophomores agree that you can't say you're fully prepared for the guide exam without having consumed all of AG's Patreon content? Guys, they're college sophomores. Watch the news. They know everything. So trust the science of that poll and trust the college sophomores. You've only lived decades more than they have, so what the hell do you know anyway, right?
Was this Elizabeth? Was it Elizabeth?
No, Elizabeth. She couldn't care less about this stuff. Go to patreon.com/addressinggettysburg and join today so you can ace the guide exam. We'll be right back after these quick notes from the Walk Dollars.
Hey, the studio line costs us money.
What?
So use it. Call 717-420-1978 to join the discussion, ask a question or whatever. Just stop us from wasting money on the damn phone line. Oh, we're back.
John, don't put that out in public. Send that to me in a private message. That's a great idea. No, that's a good idea, John. Thank you. Well, we're working on a second blend now. I haven't. When I have the logo, I will I will share the name with you. But first, we got to get the logo made. It's going to be a high caliber breakfast blend. Okay.
What does high caliber mean?
High caffeine content.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So for those of the people that like a little, turn it up.
Little.
Okay. There you go. I should get a thing where everybody, is that too much? Jeez, I'm sorry.
Just tiny.
Just you make a slight move on this thing and it goes up very far. All right. So listen, guys. What did I want to tell you here? Okay, so listener. Let me do this, and I'll get to other listener emails maybe another time. I got another nice letter from our friend Kathy Hoffman, and listen to this. And there's a request, and so we have to find the time. The guys in the back, pay attention because this applies to you as well. Okay, Mr. Gallery, you don't know how much you made my day when I was watching Addressing Gettysburg yesterday. My son just got home from work, and I yelled for him to come to the living room. He thought I fell or something. And I told him to sit down and watch your program, mentioning my 3 letters you received from me and my name, and if I received any of your letters. My son said he was glad for me that you made my day on Thursday. Yes, I do receive those letters, and I truly appreciate that. I look forward to them if you have the time to answer back. I really don't want to become a pain in the ass to you, but I'm going to ask a big favor from you. This is something I don't do, but is there any way you could send me a picture of you and your Addressing Gettysburg crew? You, Cindy, Bethany, Debbie, Mike Lentz, Colby, and of course Major. I know I don't know you in person, but you don't ever know, and you don't even know me, but it would be something I would cherish to have. A group picture of all of you. I don't have a cell phone or a computer because of my fingers to receive photos, and I'm not sure if they make those throwaway cameras anymore to have the film developed. But if you could think of a way to send me a picture, I would truly appreciate it. Honest. I'll end it for now. Hope things are coming along, et cetera, et cetera. Yeah, that's it. Oh, and thank you again for mentioning me on your show. You truly made my day. Hope to hear from you again if you can find the time.
Well, I'm officially in love with her. Yeah.
Well, and you know, I meant to download it, but I can't get. Oh, maybe I can get into it because I didn't. I forgot to set up the phone lines again, which I will do while you guys start the bidding process on the whatchamacallit there. But here, listen to this. Here.
What? Mr. Cowrie, this is Kathy Hoffman calling. I was calling to find out if you did a show yesterday. That was the first day I missed watching your program on a Thursday. I had a previous engagement. But I was just wondering if you did one yesterday because I couldn't find it today on the YouTube channel. Okay, I was just calling to find out. Okay, well, you have a good day and keep doing what you're doing, Mr. Cowrie. And thank you. Okay, bye-bye.
Well, you're welcome, Kathy. And, of course, she's referring to the episode that YouTube took off off the air. But that is available for her to watch now up there as well. Mike, by the way, since you have that on, I think... Oh, never mind. Well, whatever. Just real quick, go to news, and does it to go to the back? Okay, yeah, there you go. So you're okay there, and then all you need to do is go to news in the computer when it's time for news, but don't show you know what I'm saying? Just keep it on show, and then all you need to do is so you don't need to do the board anymore. No, go back. Yeah. Okay. Now look at the way it looks on the computer. Is the wood background still there?
It is, and boom, news.
Okay, but we're not on news yet. But I'm just saying that's what you got to do.
Boom.
That's all you got to do.
Regular news. Regular news.
All right. I forgot what else I was going to do. Well, okay. Oh, yeah, let me read a couple of more of these emails here because people have been sending good emails in, and I don't want to make them think that I don't pay attention to them here because I do. And I'm sorry for those of you who don't want to hear this, but so what? Hi, Matt. It's Dave. I listened to your State of the Show episode yesterday and have some thoughts. I love AG Today. Been watching regularly since sometime in 21. I enjoy the goofiness, the humor, and cam moments, the banter between the crew. I fell for the walk tallers gag, but found it unbelievably funny. See, he's not acting like a victim. He thinks it's funny. The reason I like AG Today is because it both provides a fun element to contrast the intense nature of all the Civil War history. It also keeps me updated and informed on the news, events, and changes to local businesses, some I really care about, recently Food 101. I'm a former born and raised resident who lives there most of my life in 2 segments, and I moved to Philly in 2018. I made room for you to move back to Gettysburg, LOL. I realize you are, wouldn't it be funny if we moved in the same place? I realize you are essentially a one-man band, even though you have a supporting cast that volunteers their time for AG Today. While I certainly would enjoy a weekly show, a bi-weekly or monthly show isn't a bad idea. I don't know what the show's sexuality has to do with anything. I'm going to promote the show to my local friends from Gettysburg. I don't know what to tell you about internet a-holes who send you messages about turning the show off. People are strange. People are peculiar. This dynamic reminds me of sports talk radio. There are listeners who want hardcore, nerdy sports talk, no frivolity. Meanwhile, the reason 94 WIP in Philly has been one of the highest rated sports talk stations in the U.S. is because it includes pop culture topics, film, television, music, along with local Philly flavor, food, communities, and events, and humor. That's how it draws in the more casual sports fans to listen. That's how I view AG Today. I also have a show idea. Oh, I'll get back to that. Anyway, I certainly wish you to continue the success or continued success on what is obviously a roller coaster ride. It's not easy, but it's better than wedding videography, right? And you are correct, Dave. It is. It is 1,000 times better than wedding videography. All right, so I think we're going to try to do the once a month thing, right?
Okay.
I went to, and Cindy will talk more details about this in the news, but I went to the Barn Resort to make initial contact for the Christmas party, and it is very nice in there. Mm-hmm. Very nice in there. They did a great job with it, and they were telling me, the guy was telling me about the other plans that they have and the other properties along the Emmitsburg Road that they've purchased, and that's going to be like family fun strip row down there.
Oh, I didn't know they had purchased other things.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, we got to get Brian back on.
Yeah, we do.
Family Fun Strip Road.
Yeah. I mean, he told me what they bought, and I'm sure it's probably okay if I shared it, but I don't know. I mean, he didn't say don't tell anybody yet, but, I mean, cool stuff down there.
We'll talk about it.
Yeah, I'll tell you at lunch or dinner, whatever we're doing.
Oh, now we're going to lunch.
We're going to lunch. We're doing a lot of things today. We're going to go to lunch, then we're going to go right to dinner. Ezra fell and hit his head. No, he got kicked in the head.
Yeah.
Tell me
I
about
didn't know
that.
we were talking about
Go
that
ahead,
now.
tell me.
Ezra got kicked in the head at school.
Wow.
And now, all the news that's fit to print and a good deal that's not. Here's AG Today's lead anchor, Bethany Yingling, with current events and sidewalk conditions.
Co-owner of popular Gettysburg restaurant charged with selling drugs behind the eatery.
What?
The borough moves its charging for paying eye to another street in Gettysburg.
I don't know what you just said.
Canadian man slashes tires with a sword in downtown Gettysburg.
Wait, redo. Go back.
Oh,
Start over.
What?
Start over.
Oh. All right. So Ezra got kicked in the head at school, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah?
He got kicked in the head at school.
And now, all the news that's fit to print and a good deal that's not. Here's AG Today's lead anchor, Bethany Yingling, with current events and sidewalk conditions.
Co-owner of popular Gettysburg restaurant.
I'm kidding. I'm messing with you guys. All right, let's do it one more time.
No, I'm not doing it now.
No,
I'm not
please.
doing it now.
Oh, stop it. Stop it. Ezra got kicked in the head at school?
Yeah, he got kicked in the head at school.
And now, all the news that's fit to print and a good deal that's not. Here's AG Today's lead anchor, Bethany Yingling, with current events and sidewalk conditions.
Co-owner of popular Gettysburg restaurant charged with selling drugs behind the eatery.
Oh.
The borough moves its charging for parking eye to another street in Gettysburg.
Still don't know what she said.
Whatever, get over it.
Canadian man slashes tires with a sword in downtown Gettysburg.
Stupid Canadians!
Gettysburg Military Park at Eisenhower National Historic Site announced a new deputy superintendent.
I miss Cameron. I got to get him back on here. Okay. So, God, what an exciting time in the news,
I know
right?
the last couple weeks have been kind of ho-hum, and then all of a sudden, boom!
Yeah.
All this stuff.
For cereal. All right. So, what is the first one that you have there?
The co-owner of popular Gettysburg restaurant charged.
This is crazy unless you're familiar with Mama's Basement.
Mama's Basement. A co-owner of longtime popular Gettysburg Bar and Restaurant is facing numerous felony charges related to the sale of drugs behind the establishment. Christina Fazzolari, am I right? Age 38 of Vortana, has been charged by the Adams County Drug Task Force with felony charges related to delivery of cocaine, conspiracy to deliver cocaine, possession of fentanyl with intent to deliver, possession of marijuana with intent to deliver, criminal use of a cell phone, and a misdemeanor charge of endangering the welfare of a child, according to court documents. Fazzolari was charged along with her husband, John Anderson, 46 of Ortana, according to the charging documents. In addition to the charges that Fazzolari is facing, Anderson faces additional charges of prohibited possession of a firearm and the possession of drug paraphernalia. Anderson was unable to post $50,000 bail and remains confined in Adams County Prison. It talks a little bit about previous and how they got to these charges. So April 17th was the first observation of Fazzolari selling cocaine in the alleyway behind the restaurant. It didn't say in here because, it did. I didn't say it. It's banter as restaurant and lounge. So I apologize for not mentioning that before. So it is
I thought you...
on Chambersburg Street in downtown Gettysburg.
Right.
Then on June 5th, a second sale was organized, was seen by officers driving Anderson to a convenience store on Chambersburg Street near the restaurant where Anderson delivered cocaine. During the June 5th sale, police observed the couple's child, having trouble with words today, the couple's child in the rear of the vehicle. 2 days later, on June 7th, they served a search warrant on the couple's home. Inside, they retrieved 32 plastic bags of marijuana that were packaged for easy sale and distribution. Along with that, there were 16 green tablets which contained fentanyl.
God, why with that?
Police conducted an interview with Anderson after his arrest. That's the husband, in which he admitted that he sold cocaine to pay for domestic relations. Anderson told officers that
to pay for what?
Domestic relations, so child support.
Oh. Well, there you go, government.
Sold cocaine at his direction to help him out. So the co-owner is helping the husband, according to his statement. The restaurant does remain open as of October 1st. And now it's interesting. There is it's a Facebook page that is listed as satire, but the name of the Facebook page is Adams County Police Department. Have you ever seen this?
Yeah.
And
no, what is this?
Yeah. So it actually the name of it is Adams County Police Department, but the page, it specifically says that this is not the actual police department and that it's satire. But they posted pictures of the news. So the news was there doing, a live broadcast from in front of the restaurant. Did you see this? And it says, in the interest of saving themselves some embarrassment, perhaps elected Gettysburg officials could tell their employees not to be seen in an establishment where drug dealing has been alleged. Here you have Local 21 CBS News going live with Gettysburg municipal manager's car parked right in front of Mama's last night. Unfortunate place for that person to be parked during the live news broadcast.
Whose car was it?
The municipal manager of Gettysburg. I'm not sure who that is.
Now, so it wasn't really, though.
Yeah, it was.
It was.
Yeah.
The page itself puts it down as that it's satire because they don't want to get in trouble for pretending to be the police. But they post things that are just sort of like
off color.
Off color, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Oh, I have to follow that. I didn't know that existed.
Yeah.
The one thing about this article that I thought was really interesting, on all of the places that I saw it online, there was the picture, but it's only the guy.
I know. And I'm sitting here going, Christina, and I was trying to make the connection with the picture and I couldn't. And then I realized, well, that must be the husband, but there's no picture of
her at all.
Her Yeah, with a mugshot or anything. The picture online is the husband.
It's interesting. Why isn't there a mugshot of her?
I don't know. I thought that was weird, especially considering if she is a co-owner of a local establishment. I would assume people would recognize her right off the bat. I would assume.
I mean, it looked like, I think that she was like a cook, right? She was a chef. She'd be in the back all the time.
Well, so
yeah,
and she is awaiting a preliminary hearing, according to court records. It says while Fazzolari is awaiting, but Anderson was unable to make bail. So I get the feeling she's out on bail and husband is sitting in jail.
Well, yeah, if he has to sell drugs for child support, I'm sure he can't come up with the bail. Right? Is that what they were saying? That he was selling the drugs so that he could pay his child support?
It's what they alluded to.
Yes.
Domestic.
Jesus. Harold Christmas.
It's sad.
It is sad.
It is. And then the child in the car. And so you have fentanyl in your home with a child.
God, can you imagine?
No, I can't. I can't.
No. It's
So it is terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate for all.
It is.
That it's been it opened in 1977.
Yeah, it's been there a while.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right, what else?
So I have about parking. So
parking.
Parking has been a situation around
Wrong
Gettysburg
music. That's not
for
my
a
parking
while.
music.
That's not your parking
I have
You don't
her.
have hers.
I have hers, but I don't have yours. So
Yeah,
I have
okay,
like
so
all
other
my.
ones.
Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
The college apparently has requested to the borough that they make Constitution Avenue a site for app-only parking.
Oh, app only for like 50 spots, right?
Yeah.
Or something they said they could do.
So that would be the spots past the Mummasburg Road or College Ave, I think they call that. So in other words, between Washington Street and College or the Mummasburg
West
Road.
Broadway and West Lincoln Avenue. The other locations of app-only parking are placed about every 4 spaces, so there probably would be 12 signs since there is a room for at least 50 spaces.
Why did they make the college get safe?
Constitution Avenue was too narrow for parking spaces in the past, but it has been widened over the years and can now accommodate parking on one side. But again, I know a lot of people that go and park on Constitution Avenue because they know they can. It's an easy walk to uptown, but
Yeah.
it's free parking.
Yeah, I've been
Where
asking
is
why.
it free parking? It's not free parking.
Well,
You can park on one side there. If you go,
Wait, Constitution Ave. Where is that one? I'm thinking of Lincoln.
Constitution Avenue is the one that you turn left.
Off of.
Oh,
it's
the one that takes you up and around, and then you eventually get into the parking lot.
It's funny. Listen, first of all, like,
down at the end.
Yes.
Down at the end.
Yeah.
and
Okay.
nobody listening to the audio only version will have a clue what you two are talking
Yeah.
about. So have
Okay.
fun finding the parking.
So.
Well, you're not going to park there now anyway because it's going to be paid
Yeah.
for parking.
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't even know there was free parking there. That's that big wide avenue
Yes.
by the train tracks, goes by the train, and then it cuts into
Yes.
Washington Street right by the
But
train
it used to
station.
not be wide, apparently. It was narrow.
Yeah, it
That's
was very
what
narrow.
They were saying
at
in the
one
article.
point in time.
So,
Yeah.
but there's no parking meters there now.
Correct.
And
The
now
decision
they're
to
saying,
go-
please put meters there.
The decision to go with app-only parking comes because we don't have enough meters as it is. As spares and meters are very hard to find right now, they're becoming non-existent. The cost would be lower for app-only since no collection or maintenance is required.
See, I don't think that's actual legal parking right now.
Yeah, I don't think it is.
So
I think
even though
people
it's
park there.
free,
There's
people
nothing
park
that
there.
says no
so
parking.
The college needs to, if they want to advertise this as parking for events and things like that, it needs to be officially
I see.
named parking.
Okay.
So they want to put meters there.
All right. Okay. All right. That's wonderful.
Yeah, so more parking.
More parking,
More parking, more
fees.
paid parking,
Yeah.
yes.
Well, there you go. What else are you going to do?
So a Canadian man slashed tires with a sword during a rampage
What?
in downtown Gettysburg.
What? Tell me this one.
Yeah, crazy. A Canadian man has been charged with an alleged drunken rampage with a sword in downtown Gettysburg this past weekend.
Unbelievable.
Raymond Bondy of Edmonton, Alberta, Canada, faces misdemeanor charges of possessing an instrument of a crime, criminal mischief, public drunkenness and disorderly conduct as a result of allegedly slashing multiple tires and damaging windows on vehicles in downtown Gettysburg on Sunday evening. This is just this past Sunday. So unable to post the $5,000 bail, Bondi remains confined in Adams County prison, court records show. Officers were called to a hotel in the 500 block of Baltimore Street in Gettysburg around 11:18 p.m. on Sunday, September 29th. For a report of a disturbance. They arrived. An employee at the hotel reported that a man who was shirtless was running around the parking lot of the hotel with a sword, slashing the tires of vehicles. Officers located him on the third floor of the hotel, sitting on a walkway, and appeared to be impaired. When they made contact with him, they detected a strong odor of alcohol.
Of course they did.
Mm-hmm. The man was detained by officers. The officers continued to investigate. He was a Canadian citizen. He was also carrying a Canadian Armed Forces ID card. Officers then located surveillance footage. In the affidavit, officers described the footage as showing Bondi entering the hotel parking lot, identified by distinct tattoos and matching appearance, and removing a sword from the rear of his parked Ford Ranger. He then is seen slashing tires on multiple vehicles as well as several windows. In total, 10 tires were slashed, 4 windows were broken. They describe it as a destructive rampage. He's seen in the footage then placing the sword back into his vehicle and heading back into the hotel.
Jesus. I love how he places the sword.
He places it. He's just like, I'm done.
Yeah, here, I'm going to put this neatly back.
After being detained, officers retrieved an SOG sword. I don't know what that is.
I forget what that stands for.
It was 24 inches in length with a blade length of 17.4 inches. And
They're sending their sword fighters.
Damage caused was about $3,300. His preliminary hearing is scheduled for October 9th, so it looks like his stay in the United States will be a little bit longer.
Yeah, a little bit longer.
Yeah.
A little bit.
So 500 block of...
They're coming down. They're eating our dogs from Canada.
Is 1863.
They're slashing our tires with swords. Who uses a sword anymore? Who uses...
You want to know what's funny is that I put into AI like make this headline funnier, and what it said was Canadian man brings a sword to a tire fight in downtown Gettysburg.
He doesn't even know how to slash tires. You know, in New York they slash tires all the time. Nobody uses swords. Use a pocket knife. You put it in your pocket. You walk away.
SOG.
Oh, what is that? Yeah, what does that stand for?
It's the company that makes it.
Oh, I thought it stood for something.
Yeah, I did too.
Yeah, like special operation.
Listen,
I don't know.
Eric Houston, that is not a news story. That is you just being whiny.
What's his problem now?
Says about
that he had. Well, he calls it a young man. I think it's an old man with a severely bruised arm. He's going to get me for that one.
Is he the one with the severely bruised arm? Oh.
From the other night when I was
last week.
Oh, from when you beat him last week?
Yeah. I don't even remember. Okay. So, very exciting news story for those of us that work with the park.
Oh? I mean,
Yes.
oops, sorry. Wait, why is that on? Meant to turn it off.
Longtime Gettysburg National Military Park employee Zach Belaytho.
Yes.
Is now officially the deputy superintendent.
Oh, congratulations.
Of both parks. And he's worked there since 2011, but I feel like it has been longer.
Well,
I mean, he seems
so that means you don't like him, is what you're saying.
No.
That's
It's
terrible.
just he seems to have always been like he seems to be
a fixture at the
yes,
park.
he's
Well, that's over 10 years.
Yeah, 13.
How long have you been working with the foundation?
Almost 10.
Almost 10.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. So he's been there longer than you've been there.
Mhm.
So it makes it seem like, that he's been there. Well, Lex, congratulations. I like Zach. I've talked to him a couple times. He's a very nice guy.
Yeah, he's worked for the National Park Service for 24 years, serving in resource stewardship offices at several NPS units across the country. He has also served in acting superintendent details at multiple parks as well as in leadership positions with the NPS Eastern Incident Management Team, which is a huge deal. He gets called out for a lot of things to help with incident management. Can be events as well as bad things. So as long as you need a team coming together. His civil service began as a rural I can't say that word. Rural training instructor with the United States Peace Corps in the Solomon Islands. I almost said Samoan. In the South Pacific. Bolitho started his career with the NPS as a Student Conservation Association intern at Craters of the Moon National Monument and Preserve in Idaho. Working as a
He worked on the moon?
The National Monument, yep. Worked as a field biologist for the NPS Northeast Region's Invasive Plant Management Team, natural resources specialist at Gettysburg National Military Park and Eisenhower National Historic Site, and Chief of Resources Management at Lewis and Clark National Historic Park in Oregon. He holds a BS in Conservation of Natural Resources and an MS in Environmental Biology.
That's Bachelor of Science, Matt. That's nothing else.
Thank
or
you.
a Bethany Stallman. He's a very, very, very nice man.
No, he is. He's very nice.
And just super
So
cool.
the deputy superintendent, what did I mean, obviously they're the deputy to the superintendent, but like, do they
What are
ever
their
do anything
official
publicly? Like, are we going to see him more out in the public? Or
I hope so. I think very much like the vice president situation, they can kind of take on what they want their priority to be.
Okay. All right.
Like Chris Heister really, when she was deputy superintendent, she seemed to go towards more of like the volunteer program and what that would look like and stuff like that. So, so he might have a thing that he'll focus on. I honestly don't know. It depends, I think, on what they choose to do. But it would be something we should have a Zach on and ask.
I would love to have Zach on. Yeah. I would love to have Chris Heister on.
Mm-hmm.
That's invitation number 6 right there. By the way, can I tell you something? We had Jason Martz on the other day.
Mm-hmm.
And, a lot of people seem to appreciate it. In fact, someone said something here.
Or today, if you were paying attention at the beginning of the episode.
Yeah, right. It was a doubleheader. No, but there was something here I just wanted to read you about this because, I'm all disorganized. I miss Eric, the producer. Okay, where is it? Here we go. Just bear with me here. Just hold on. 1 second. 1 second. Oh, here we go. This is it. See, I used a different color highlighter so that I knew.
That was
good job.
Thanks, guys. Thanks. I had one. You know what? The sun coming out today made my depression and everything go away, and I had clarity today. I was able to accomplish things. God. All right. So this is from Mike C. See, there's one little blue highlight at the bottom of this page, and so I had to find the bottom so I knew his name. He says, great stuff. I really find Jason's and the park's perspective interesting. It's on my list to stay in one of those famous historic farmhouses, but I also feel like I wouldn't sleep and would startle at every creak in the house. You probably would. And I've been into one in the Slider House, and it's really cool. So if you do get the chance to do it and it's available, you should do it. So Jason said to me, as we were getting in our cars, we were just talking, joking around and stuff, and he like, we have people like get, when they want you to get serious. It's okay, but seriously though, do you think, this is what he says, do you think, this is what he says, he goes, do you think, no, he goes, do you think this is helping, doing this? And I said, I know it is, because I hear from people.
Yeah.
And they say they really appreciate it,
Mm-hmm.
and it helps them not go crazy with conspiracy theories. Mm-hmm. And I said, I know, like, you have to give the party line, like, you're a bureaucrat, you've got to say the bureaucratic thing, and you can't be completely forthright with us, but they all know that too, And then when I push back on you, you don't just repeat the same old line. You break it down for me like I'm 5. And then you explain it so that we understand. And I said, people do appreciate that. And so I just want the audience to know that, like, if you think that, like, oh, park service people, they don't really care. It's just a job for them.
Is not the
that
truth at
really is not true. It may seem like it sometimes when the answer is like, tough titties said the kitty, but the milk's still good or whatever. What's the old saying?
What?
When it's like, here's the new rule. And it's like, we don't like the new rule. And they're just like, tough. That doesn't mean they don't care. They've got jobs to do and they've got bosses to answer to. And so, that's what they got to do. But they do care that, they're not coming on here for their health. They're coming on here because they want to open communications with people. And this, of course, is one of the most wildly popular podcasts coming out of New Jersey. New Jersey, Gettysburg.
Wow.
For all the world to see and adore. So, yes.
I do wish, one of the things that I wish I could do.
Yes.
And have like a GoPro on. Because like we were in a meeting today about the volunteer program. And it was an hour. But what I noticed so much in those types of meetings with the park is how much they really do care. They want to make it so that people can do things. But there's this impression that they're like, nope, sorry, done. I don't want you out here, whatever. But they have to do it within certain parameters.
Well, I do think though too, and it's the same with
liar.
It's the same with anything at all.
Just speaking for the people in the audience who are like, liar.
Any type of communication is better than zero communication.
Yes.
And so I think the more people.
Well, is that true? Because the issue of Ben came up. Remember Ben who wrote wrote his name on the stone, and then there was that letter on Facebook that they put out written to Ben, and it was full of smarm. And I said, it came up on the show with Jason, and I said, did you write that letter, Jason? I'm like, I get where you're going. Believe me, I love smarm and I love snarkiness and sarcasm to make a point. I said, but I don't know if that really goes over well with the public when you do that.
It's better than the alternative of where we're just going to keep saying no. Like, I get what he was trying to do.
Sure. That's a point.
And if he's just going to then say, can't do this, and everything is can't do this, can't do that, can't do this, can't do that. At least he was trying to make light of it in his own way, whether it went over well or not.
True.
True. So I do feel that,
that's a good point.
Rather than not saying anything at all, saying anything is better than that.
And when you say nothing, then speculation and conspiracy theories come out. And there was an exchange, and we talked about this with Jason too, on Mike Walker's page. He posted a picture of cars parked in the bus lot. And then somebody in the comments section posted a picture of about 20 cyclists walking their bikes up the right side of the road on Sykes Avenue, and about maybe 15 scouts or whatever hiking, walking down the left side of the road, but both in the road because you can't walk on the shoulder because it's all wild weeds and everything. And so there was no room for the car to get through.
Oh, okay.
Okay. And so a discussion about the width of the road, and people were saying, well, who didn't see that coming? And, if they had just used a little common sense, they could have made it so that, all these things were possible. And I said, and yet the people who think the park is trying to restrict our access to the park are conspiracy theorists, right? Meaning, well, I'll tell you. And then Chris Gwynn replied, and he just wrote, they are. And I wrote, I'm not saying they aren't. I'm just saying this feeds into that thinking.
Mm-hmm.
And there was no response to that. But that's my point. That's my frustration with the park. It's like put me on. I won't even ask you for a dime. But next time you want to do something, ask me what the miserable people in the public are going to say. But they don't care. See, that's the thing. They don't care. It's a government job. Right. They don't care about that. It's a government job. They're going to get paid no matter what. They don't have to please the public. I have to please the public. A guy owning a restaurant has to please the public when they're not selling cocaine. And maybe that's the way they try to please the public. I don't know. You have a hotel. You have to please the public. When you work for the government, your institution's going to exist whether the public likes you or not. Otherwise, I mean, let's be honest, there'd be no government.
And that example, though, is why I say that any communication is better than none, because specifically with Little Round Top, at least from what I've seen and from what I've heard, it was kind of like a hush-hush. We're not going to talk about it or address.
With what, prior to?
I don't want to address, I'm not going to address any potential issues that people see with this type of stuff. We're just going to say it's a great thing. And not that it's not, but it wasn't like, let me explain why. And I'm just that type of person. You know that. I think you are too. It's like, just tell me why. It's not necessarily that it's,
yeah,
bad or good. But what?
It's interesting because I guess I understand where you're coming from. I do. But like, I also see these people on the day to day, and
I'm not saying that they don't care. What I'm saying is that it gives that impression if they don't speak to something that is clearly a hot ticket for everybody else in the public.
Mm-hmm.
So they don't see what you see, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because that's behind closed doors. And it's a great thing that they do care. And I think it's important that we know that. I'm just saying that from a perspective of, civilian who comes in.
My whole thing with offering a platform for them is because, I, like you, see them behind the scenes. Mm-hmm. I converse with them. I have meetings, and I know them enough to know that they really love their jobs, mm-hmm. and they really do care about doing what is best for the public and of their bosses, mm-hmm. right? The people outside of mm-hmm. Gettysburg National Military Park that they have to answer to. And it's not an easy job. I wouldn't want Chris Heister's job. I wouldn't want to have any decision-making power in the federal government, and I wouldn't want to work for the federal government at all, right? I just feel like, and I get it, like they're strapped budget-wise. So I'm saying, well, listen, I don't have Larry King's audience. Is Larry King still alive? I'm so behind on things. I don't have a big audience like that, but I don't have Joe Rogan's audience, right? But I have an audience enough mm-hmm. where I'll give you the platform to have some relations with the public because you need it. Mm-hmm. I can see it. I can see the disdain that the public has in the comment sections mm-hmm. on Facebook.
Right.
And I'm like, okay, I get it. These are nameless, faceless people making these decisions that they're getting angry at. And I go, but I know these people, and I know they're really not bad people.
No.
And I don't like that the public is this way. And not please, I see the comments sometimes when I have Park Service officials on, and they're still like, oh, another way for the government to rob you. I get it. You're not going to make everybody see the light. But I want to give them the chance. And I think that our staff here does a great job managing this park. It is not an easy job to do. Mm-hmm. And you got, and I don't agree with everything that they do or every decision that they make, but what am I going to do? What am I going to do? What am I going to do?
Well, you're going to give them a platform to be able to speak to.
And my point is, and this is the thing, you can go on another podcast that comes out of Gettysburg, but you're going to get softball questions because you've had them approved. Mm-hmm. And that the audience can smell that a mile away. Mm-hmm. That's not what they appreciate. And mm-hmm. also they don't know that show.
Yeah.
So you can come here
mm-hmm.
and I'm not going to blindside you. I'm not going to do anything like that. This isn't 90s shock jock radio. That time has gone. So there's no gotcha, nothing. I don't want to do anything like that.
Yeah.
I want to provide a service to everybody that, okay, the audience watches whoever, Heister, or when Sims came on and they watch it and they still don't want to believe a word out of their mouth, fine. But at least it's out there for you to hear them talking as human beings, not as bureaucrats. And I understand that they still have to be bureaucrats while they're talking, but it's different. I converse with people differently. I don't do written down questions and answers like NPR. All right, what else you got? I'm going to get the phone lines going so that Grant can call in. Yeah.
We're at 7:45.
Yeah.
Okay. So the advanced team is going to have to go at 8. What is it? Oh, because we're at Taverna tonight?
Yes.
Okay. So the advanced team might have to go soon, but go ahead, girls.
All right, so
Quickly!
little bit of sad
scared
news.
the shit out of me.
The Union Cigar Shop and Cigar Lounge in Hanover has now closed.
Oh.
It's closed permanently.
Really?
Yep. It was announced.
So they closed down here not too long ago, right? Was that even a year ago?
No.
So they closed. Oh, that's too bad.
Mm-hmm. So it says they face numerous challenges, including tough money, decreased sales. Tough money? That's not what it says. It says tough economy.
Man, that's tough money.
So that doesn't make any sense. Decreased sales and competition from online pricing, as most things. So they tried looking for ways to make it work, but very sad day for them. They first opened that shop in March of 2022, and they, purchased Union Cigar Club in Gettysburg in 2020. Gettysburg location recently moved to Carlisle in 2024, but has since closed. So no, the whole thing is out of business.
Wasn't there a reason why they moved?
It was a landlord thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, from here.
I think the landlord had other ideas and was sick of the building smelling like cigar smoke.
Yeah, so now it's Sweet Repeat Records is
Yeah,
in there.
which I
It's a
keep meaning to
record shop.
stop into.
Yeah, we're going to get
stop.
him
I'm gonna
on
step
the
in
Wants
it.
to
show.
stop it.
Yeah.
We're
I'm
gonna
gonna
get him
step
on the show,
into it.
'cause
You
he's
guys
also
keep
a musician.
You have the show. I'm gonna get the phone line up real quick.
Okay.
I don't have any more news. I got events.
God damn it. Well, the only other thing was that Gettysburg College is hosting that first night football game. It is tomorrow. So first ever home football game at night against McDaniel College. It is tomorrow, Friday, October 4th at 7 p.m. at the Shirk Field at Musselman Stadium. And that's thanks to the generous support of 25 college alumni and families. For the 4 towers of LED lights were lifted into the sky. So it's happening. So head over there to check that out.
Mark's family lives right down over a hill from the Dallastown School Stadium. And the other night we were over there, and I was like, why am I hearing
like a
weird
band
music?
and music and
Mark's like, it's
cheering.
the band practicing. And I was like, I guess I'd never been there when that happened before.
Dallastown's a beautiful area.
Very, very loud.
It is. And when football games happen, I'm sure it's even louder. You can hear the crowds usually too.
Yeah.
When there's there's a new diner opening this month in Gettysburg, the Gateway Diner, which is at 70 Presidential Circle. So they're hoping to open mid-October. So we'll keep an eye on that. They're a breakfast all day type place. That's over by
the movie theater,
and
Wyndham
and Courtyard. Also, I'm sure everybody has seen Lincoln Links is under construction now, which is the 18-hole miniature golf course that is on Steinway Ave. So that is going to be coming soon as well. So more family-friendly things to do. And now we're on to events.
Okay.
Wow.
So the first big event for this weekend, other than Muster being this weekend, is the National Apple Harvest Festival.
Oh yeah, we're going to that, aren't we?
The 60th.
I know.
That's insanity. Annual.
Isn't that crazy?
For something like that to keep going, because a lot of those small fairs, like once a certain age,
This is no small fair.
This is a 2-weekender.
I know, but
weekends.
like once those types of things that are community-oriented events, like a certain generation starts to peter out.
I think though that this generation coming
Peter out
in
of
is
this.
much more into that now. So like maybe it lulled for a bit, but I feel like this is the
so
time.
60 years. That's something to be very happy.
It really is.
Very proud about.
It really is.
So the National Harvest Festival celebrates the fall season with beautiful handmade crafts, delicious food, and jam-packed entertainment.
Amazing.
It'll be held from October 5th through 6th, and again the next weekend, October 12th through the 13th, and is open from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. on Saturdays and 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. on Sundays, rain or shine. Now, I have been out there in the rain. It is a completely different experience.
By the way, let me ask you, if you don't mind me asking, you've been to it. What is it like? I've never been to one before. We're going this year for the
You've
very
never
first
been?
time. Never been to an apple harvest
So,
festival because
here's the thing. You
I
park.
always forget about them.
You park in a field.
Yeah.
You can park at it, but I wouldn't do that. You can park in a field.
Any
then
field?
Well, there's signs.
Oh.
As soon as you start to get into Biglerville, you'll see them. And then you park and get on a school bus, and they bus you over. And some of those school bus, like, they're used to driving it, and they've been driving it. It's their route. They go fast. The amount I have to take Dramamine every year because that short bus ride from the field to the park area is I'm like, ooh. But they have a ton of food vendors and a lot of fall crafts. So it's like if you're really
alcohol.
They have
alcohol.
a lot of the local wineries are there with tastings,
distilleries.
All right.
The
lots of apple food.
themed apple food.
Yes.
There is a place that right along the main. There's like they name the roads and stuff, but along the main drag, there's a place that sells apple sausages with, and they put
good stuff.
Sauerkraut on it.
Yeah.
And a little bit of mustard.
Mustard.
Oh my God.
Have you been there, Mike? I'm assuming you've
yes.
been there.
It's really cool.
What do you like about it?
Well, I love the street names because they lay it out in a grid, the tents in a grid.
Okay.
And so it's like a city.
Like a military.
It is. It's like a little overnight city.
Yeah, okay.
And each one of the paths has a different apple name to it. It's pretty cool.
Like Macintosh Ave.
Okay, I like
and
that.
The other really cool part about it is there's constantly little shows going on.
Oh, yes.
And little demonstrations. There's a big old-fashioned cider press there. I think from Kimes.
We went to Pippin Fest last weekend.
No,
did you ever go to that?
Don't compare Pippin Fest to the National.
Very different.
Completely.
Well, I'm just saying that we went there, and it's.
When are you going?
It also rained.
I don't know.
We're going either Saturday or Sunday this week.
Go Sunday, and I'll go with you.
That's too thin. Too thin. You got to sweeten the pot a little better than that.
What do you mean?
What? What do you mean? What do I mean?
Going with me is not exciting enough?
I don't know.
You're
So
going
it's
to
October.
watch me throw up on a bus?
Hey, listen. You hear that
Grandson.
sound? You know what that means. Let's all sing the Grant song. 2, 3, go. Tra la 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 la. Tra la 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 la. Tra la 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 la. Cause Matt's an awesome guy. All right, Grant, what do you got, buddy?
Hey, Matt, how are you?
I'm fine. How are you doing?
Oh, good. I like your jacket.
Thank you. Would you like me to take my jacket off?
Do they make them for men?
Listen, a-hole, I got this at Cabela's, which is all man, except for the women's section.
I know. I agree.
But it's for manly women.
I've got a shout out to make for someone who's recovering at home.
All right.
Poor Eric Houston, who was savagely beaten and left to die.
All right, now wait a second. What is this story? The audience
you were
is
there.
No, the audience doesn't know.
Oh.
It's not about what I know. It's about the audience. You got to tell the audience. So tell
we
the
were
story.
sitting-
Eric Houston was savagely beaten. Go.
We were sitting at the restaurant, and
Yes.
I was at the end of the table.
Right.
And Debbie's on one side of
Right.
me, and Eric was on the other. And
Uh-huh.
I got a little involved in my story.
Right.
And I grabbed a hold of their arms.
I'm sorry. I hit
As
that by
like
accident.
a point.
Uh-huh.
Okay. And I think I wrenched poor Debbie's arm out of the socket, and then Eric Houston was saying that
continued to pick up his hand and slam it on the table.
I didn't slam it.
Yeah, you actually did. Yeah.
I did not. You guys are overreacting.
Lightly slammed. Sure.
clapped it upon the table.
Clapped it upon the table.
And then he sent me pictures later about the bruises they had on his arms, which were not his arm because it was a woman's arm, Eric. So
Eric.
I don't.
Eric has woman arms?
Yeah, Eric has woman arm.
Well, he tried to pass off a woman's arm as his own.
Yeah.
He tried to hand Bethany a woman's arm so she would abuse that arm. Is that what you're saying?
No, when he sent the text with the picture of the arm with the bruises,
Yeah.
it was a woman's arm.
Oh, see, I got that, but I didn't understand.
You didn't understand?
Because I didn't witness the whole thing.
Oh, well,
You
he
were
was talking
sitting
about
right there.
That
Melissa.
means nothing.
No, at dinner
Ever.
it means nothing.
At anything, it means nothing.
Well, yeah.
I can't find the text.
One time I was at church and the altar caught on fire, and I'm like, when did that happen? And they're like, you were the altar boy that lit it on
Oh, yeah,
fire.
this is the picture he sent.
Yeah.
Of all
Yeah.
these bruises.
I didn't get. You got to pull away from the camera.
To
People
be
are-
fair, Matt,
Yes.
being an altar boy at church could have gone a lot worse.
Yeah, true story.
That's true. That's true, Grant.
I do want to point out that he wasn't actually harmed in this, but he likes to make it look like he was. Eric.
Yeah, I think everybody gets the
That's
joke.
funny.
I think everybody gets the joke.
You know what?
And this is after Marie stalked him all over the place the other day too.
He's had a rough couple weeks.
Poor Eric. I keep telling Eric he needs to get himself a double wide down here because he comes down
All
so
the
many
time.
weekends in a row.
No.
And it's not like he's in York. He's in freaking out in the, I don't even know where he is, like Pittsburgh way. And that's like 6-8 hour drive every weekend.
It's 4 here.
Four.
Well, it's 8.
But I don't
It's
think
8 back
I
and
don't think
forth.
it's quite that far. But it is,
Well,
you
it
know, he
sounds far
drives
to
a lot
me.
for work too. So I don't.
You know what the name of this song is?
Tra la 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 la. Oh.
Pagina Blanca. I think it's Spanish for white pagina.
Oh boy.
Isn't that? It's page. Page is the word for page. It's pronounced.
Anyway, Grant, how you doing?
Yeah, Grant.
Pretty good,
How is everything?
Bethany, you're so kind.
Are you doing okay? How's your dad?
No, he's still going. What I wanted to do today is something I was going to do I'm supposed to be there right now, just about.
Well,
and
okay.
And I wanted to play this game. It'll take a couple of minutes, and it's for Matt to answer.
God. Okay, Grant, go ahead.
It's either or. He can pass on any of them.
All right, Grant, hold on 1 second here. Let me give you a little something that you might enjoy or might not enjoy, but who cares? Go ahead, Grant.
Okay, New Jersey or Pennsylvania?
Pennsylvania.
Money in cigarettes or AI?
AI.
Lee or Mead?
Mead.
Chamberlain or Green?
Answer correctly.
I'd have to go with Green.
Wrong answer.
Sorry.
Okay. Veronica or Beth?
The answer to that is Veronica.
In different ways, they're both.
Do you want the honest answer to that one, Grant?
You can pass.
Yeah.
Oh, you can pass?
Yeah.
No, I'll give the honest answer.
Go.
I was very lucky to find two gals like Veronica and Beth who are funny and can put up with me. And it's very hard for me to say who I like better because I don't like either better. They're both different, and I have a lot of fun with each of them in their own way. And I know that sounds like a cop-out answer, but it's very true. They
Very
both
political answer.
shut up. They both crack me up. They are both very supportive of what I'm trying to do, and yeah, I mean that's real. And they did the news, and we acted like idiots while they were trying to be serious with the news, and they never understood. Neither one of them has ever understood that that's how the news is supposed to go. Nobody wants, but they would get mad, and I love it, and I love it. And both of them, I have a brother-sister relationship with, and I adore them both. And so I can't, there is no better. That's for the audience to decide.
Let's move on.
Go ahead.
Okay, Martin Sheen or Robert Duvall?
Duvall.
Ooh, really?
As Lee?
Yeah.
Jim Hessler or Matt Calorie?
Oh, Matt Calorie, sure. That's easy.
Lil Round Top or The Angle?
The Angle.
Okay. Wedding photography or podcasting?
Podcasting.
Okay. Bo Brinkman or Patrick Gorman?
Oh. Bo doesn't listen to the show.
Yeah,
so.
neither does Patrick. Pass.
Okay. Shed or the studio?
What is that?
Shed or the studio?
Oh, that's a tough one. These are good questions, Grant, except for the Veronica and Bethany one. Shed or the studio?
They both had good points.
Yeah, they did.
And they got 5 more.
Oh, Jesus. All right, so here, that's tough because the studio that we're in now, I have more space, which is immediately filled up. But there's more space. There's more we could do with it. It's better climate control. It's also better reliable electricity, reliable internet. So this, much better. The one thing I miss is fresh air. I miss the one I loved. The one thing I loved about the shed.
Here.
Well, yeah. So, like the windows here are sealed because I keep saying we're in a maximum security facility, and that ain't no joke. Like if there's God forbid there's a fire, we're dead, right? If we can't get out that window, it's like plexiglass. There's no way the windows are painted shut. We're never getting out of here. So in the shed, I could open the doors and I can get a nice breeze going through, and you'd be amazed at how productive I am when I can work outside. It's amazing. Yet I wasn't like blazing in the sun. I was inside, and I could have that.
I was going to say, let's put the caveat there on working out.
Oh yeah, and I had the mini split on frigid. And so there was cool air in there, but the warm air was blowing through and mixing.
Except in the wintertime. I remember
winter
the
time was a nightmare.
Veronica and I were so cold sitting in there. Like my toes, I'm missing toes.
Well, that was when the electricity was out, and we had to use batteries and daylight and a camp heater to keep warm. Yeah.
And I fell out of the chair and into the camp heater.
Yes. I remember that. Yeah. I love when you fall.
Thanks.
Oh, God. It's so funny. Yeah, I forgot that. All right, Grant, what else you got? We got to go to dinner.
Okay, Gary or Tim?
Gary or Tim? Oh, I can't pick. I have to. I couldn't pick one. I like them both very much for many reasons, and I couldn't.
They're great. They're both great.
Well, beyond that, like personally, I like them. I've known Tim for 20 years, and Gary I've only known for the last maybe 5, but they've both been just fantastic to me. So I and I like them both as just their personalities and stuff. So I couldn't pick one of those, you asshole.
Okay. Next one. A Marine or someone from the Army?
Well, Colby's not here, so someone from the Army. That's a tough one too. But I would say Army. Only because my grandfather was in the Army. What, honey?
Lopehauser or Pothead?
What's he saying?
What?
Loafhauser or Pothead?
Loafhauser or Pothead?
He's laughing and nobody understands.
The names he had.
Yeah.
Loafhauser or...
Oh, yeah.
Oh, what was the other name?
What was the other name?
Pothead.
I didn't know your name was Pothead. Loafhauser is definitely the better name. Yeah.
Okay. Greeks or people from Clarion?
Totally Greeks. I mean, come on, man. They have the better food,
I'm from
And 6 questions or Debbie?
Oh my God. That is Debbie here?
and Matt, I have the in-stream button right in front of me.
Now, Grant.
Okay, 2 plus 2.
2 plus 2.
2 plus 2? 4.
Plus 2. Okay. I've asked you this one before. Eric Dorr or Eric the producer?
You have asked this one before, and I believe my answer was Eric the Red.
Okay. And the last one. And I felt bad
But
about
hold on
this
now.
one,
Now
but
the
it's
only
funny.
thing, the only thing that Eric and Eric have in common is their name. Like they both, like if I had a new producer and you said Eric the producer or Frank the producer, that would make more sense. But these two, the only thing that they have in common is their name is Eric. You know, like so.
I know that's what's fun.
That's why.
Yeah. Okay. Gotcha. All right. What else? Come on. We're hungry.
And last one. Now this is this is probably a pass, but Cindy or Major?
Oh.
He picks
I
Major.
could never do that. Major, of course.
Yeah.
No.
He did send some cute pictures of Major the other day.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I did. Well,
and
because
you were like having a whole conversation, and then a
Well,
picture
you
of Major
can,
came
you can
up.
tell this by the photos in his phone, and I can tell you that they are all of Major. They are not of
and
Cindy.
Pete Carmichael.
Yeah.
So I sent you that picture, and this is only going to make sense to the people watching, but I sent you a picture because Major looked like she was posing. She was like
she's like-
this. And I thought that was cute.
Grant, there's some great material in here for you.
Yeah, Grant. Hey, listen, Grant, is that the last question?
That's everything, pal.
I have to tell you, a couple weeks, and I will tell you what it was that I was going to announce or tell you when you were here this weekend. So hold tight. I know it's going to be exciting. But you're going to need, I'm going to tell you,
I'm so excited, Matt.
you're going to need to give me your mailing address, okay? Do you get mail in Australia?
No.
No?
No, we're still stagecoach and horse buggy stuff.
How do you spell that?
What? No.
No. How do you spell no?
I'm sorry, is someone still talking?
Grant, how do you spell no?
N-O, as in, I'm funny as a Matt, of course, no.
What is that with the Australian accent where they say it? It's like N-A-U-R. Nar. What is that?
It's like when you say go ahead, you say go ahead.
Go ahead. Go ahead. Yeah. But I'm doing that on purpose.
We all have that.
No. We don't all do that
no,
because I
you're
can
not.
say go ahead. But it's easier to go ahead.
But you don't.
But I don't because I'm doing a show. You're not doing a show. Okay? You.
Be nice to Grant.
No, I love Grant. Grant knows I love him. I sent him a very sweet message
You
after.
decided to have a little war and get away from the English language. That's your problem.
We did have a little war and got away from that is true.
You're nothing like. Wait, you guys don't talk like the English do. The English look at
Not
you,
full Irish,
Australian accent.
influence.
Yeah, they look at you. They look down on you guys. Ouch. You guys.
As I look down on you.
No, well, yeah, because you're so tall. No, I mean you guys. What
I am
you were?
tall.
You were a penal colony, right? You all had big.
Yeah, I've got criminals in both sides of the family in the background.
What does that have to do with the penal colony?
I'm just saying that's where we're all coming from, criminals, and you come from New Jersey, so it's pretty bad.
It's all the same. There's no difference.
So Australia is the New Jersey.
Australia is the New Jersey of
the
Great
world.
Britain.
Oh.
Oh, no country's that bad.
Yeah. Do you find the
And one last thing.
Wait, no. Wait, do you find the movie Quigley Down
Yeah, go
Under
ahead,
to
go
be
ahead.
offensive?
No, not at all.
You
It's
like
a fun
it?
movie.
It's a fun movie. Okay, good. Go ahead. Now, one last thing, and then we got to go. Oh God, it's late. Yeah, we got to go.
Shout out to 6Q. He's really done a great job with the cameras.
Has he?
No.
Yes, he's focused. He's focused on other people as much as possible.
Good. That's just what I told you, Mikey. Thank you. Thank you very much. Hey, listen, Grant. Thank you.
And he didn't hurt himself in the process.
No, no, because he's not only is he sitting down, but I used electrical tape to tape him to the chair, so he couldn't fall out of it like Bethany does. She falls out of it into a space heater. All right, listen, Grant. It's great to hear from you. I'm glad you're here.
Hey, Matt, there's something I've always wanted to say to you.
What, Grant? Oh, you're gonna hang up now? Yes, he did. All right. That's lovely, Grant. Thank you all for watching tonight. We had a lot of views. I think there's probably from Sharon's people, hopefully, but whatever. Have a good one. We'll see you next week, folks.
AG Today's opening theme is written and performed by Colin Southfield and the Mushroom Country Band. Bumper music is arranged and performed by Billy Webster and sometimes Kevin MacLeod. AG Today is produced by Matt Cowlery, Bethany Yingling, Debbie Jones, and Cindy Compton. Engineered by Colby Sumner and maybe sometimes someone else. Guest accommodations are provided by the guests themselves. We'll need a couple thousand patrons to be able to put people up in hotels. Speaking of patrons, maybe you'd like to become one. You'll find plenty of perks over there, not to mention hundreds of episodes that will help you further your Gettysburg and Civil War education. So go to patreon.com/Addressing Gettysburg. I'm Huevos Grande, the voice of Addressing Gettysburg. Thanks for listening.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
You guys suck!
This concludes our broadcast day.
Bethany, houses and loaves, she usually takes smaller bites. But when she cracks us down, she jokes and snores. How lucky are we to know a broad like Bethany?